Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of the Former Action Guys podcast. Welcome. This week I have Michael Farrell back on the show. Yeah. So we sit down and we talk all kinds of stuff, catch up. He hasn't been on since before Christmas, so good times. Talk about cars, talk about he's working as a plumber, doing that. Talks about how he surprisingly enjoys it and stuff like that. So, it's a real good time. Thanks to whoever threw me another 5-star review up on Apple Podcast. I really appreciate that. If you're out there, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and put up a review if you please, and subscribe. That way, helps me move up in the ranking some, and this gets the show gets a little bit more coverage and everything. All right. So, and then, make sure you get your review in, and we're going to read it on the next episode, or send any comments you have to formeractionguyspodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't already, like I said, smash that subscribe button and share the show with your friends. As always, I do appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the messages I get. I know people sometimes leave comments on my Instagram page, like when I when I make a post, or sometimes people just shoot me a message and stuff like that. I appreciate all that. Feel free to keep doing that. The show is actually now available on YouTube as well. I've been uploading all the episodes there, and obviously they're only in audio format. And I talk about it some more in the episode, but by episode 50, I'd like to be doing some video too. So make sure if you're on YouTube, you subscribe there. That way you can see it when we start going to video and there's no issues there. So, all right. And then finally, make sure you're going to check out my website, jkramergraphics.com, and my Instagram page, jkramergraphics. That's jkramergraphics.com and at jkramergraphics on Instagram. You can also email any questions you have to formeractionguyspodcast@gmail.com. And thanks to everyone. And all right, enjoy the episode. Welcome to the show, Michael Farrell.
Thank you.
Back at it again. Oh, we were supposed to have old Tracy Offit on with us, but he's out coaching women's soccer, that's cool. I think it's adult women too.
I just picture him getting everybody in formation. Hey,
no, seriously, he said it's like he likes the PT. He likes the PT, like he's like I PT the shit out of him.
Can you imagine him doing that?
I wonder if it'd be interesting to see him outside of Chuck's, because I doubt he's out there playing soccer in Chuck's.
That's big facts. So he's the reason why I know why. Oh man, back in the day they used to cut their middle fingers. That's what the middle finger's from the bow hunters. Oh yeah. So they would draw their arrow with their two fingers, so they would cut one of their middle fingers off, and that's how they knew that they hadn't been caught yet. He told us that one day in the beginning of formation, and everybody was like, okay.
Fun fact.
Thank you.
I watched
He
Jeopardy.
used to practice his amateur stand-up comedy on us.
I meant to ask him about that on the last podcast that he was on, if he was doing stand-up, because I was going to say, all three of us need to go out and do a stand-up night. I'll watch you two perform, obviously. I won't.
You won't do it?
Oh, no.
Why? Then why are you pushing for it?
Because I think both of you are funny.
Yeah, but I think that you should also do it.
I'm pretty bland. I'm a bland. I have funny stories, but I mean, I guess that's all you need. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. No, I'm there for you guys though.
It's only so. I can't remember how long ago it was, but you're like, dude, you start writing down the things you think are funny.
Yeah.
So not every time, but I'd say like 90% of the time when I think that something's funny, and 90% of the time is when I'm high, because that's when you have like conversations in your own head about stuff. You don't say it as much. You kind of sit back. So I don't know. So I got probably 2 note pages in my phone, which it's a lot of either 1 line, 2 line, or like a little short story real quick that I remind myself, because I'll forget it 100% if I'm high. But I'm like, man, are these only funny because I'm high, or
we got to go back and read them?
I have, and usually I'm high when I go back and read it.
So I think if you're going to turn it into a stand-up bit, though, you just got to shape it.
Right. So you have to.
That's the seed.
I've played with a couple of my note pages before, like in my head, and I've been able to build a story out of it. Leave one thing leads into the next, and then you got to have to somehow bring it all the way back to the beginning. So I've played with it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I could probably, if I spend some time on this, I could probably make something decent.
I think you should.
But what if I go there and they just shit on my soul?
Well, they're gonna do that though. That's the thing.
Yeah. See,
like if you did,
do I need that anymore in my life?
If you were like, I'm definitely gonna do stand-up comedy, like on the regular, you're gonna get shit on a lot.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I already get shit on. I don't even do stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man, but I support it. If you do it, I'll let everyone know how it went. And
I think I might. I mean, I'll read through some of these things with you later, but I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty funny stuff.
if they're funny stories that you remember telling, you should tell someone here. But first, you haven't been on since before Christmas. So what have you been up to since then?
Oh boy. Let's see here. Nothing, dude. Nothing.
Working.
I mean, just working and
You're a working man
I
now.
do service plumbing now.
When are they going to let you take leave? Oh, they don't do that?
So last week I had to take off Monday for whatever it was, and on Thursday or Friday I'm like, oh man, I don't think I told him yet. I'm like, hey, BTW, I'm not going to be here Monday. Oh, it was the Monday after Super Bowl because I knew we were going to PB. I got like prepped for that now.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, in the Marine Corps, this would never fly. I mean,
No. Well,
even in the real world, it doesn't fly. But the job I have, it's like high school. It's weird. But anyway, so yeah, that's
you're full-time plumbing.
yeah. And actually, man, it's weird because a lot of times I think like I don't want to be a plumber. Like just the word plumber, like
Yeah, you think of plumbers, you're like shit.
yeah, just shitty. When I think of plumbers, I think of like
toilet.
shitty, gross people. And I'm like, I'm not a shitty, gross person.
So fucked up. There's people out there like, what the fuck, dude?
I'm not saying that you are, but growing as a kid,
Yeah.
if it was plumbing was poop. Like,
Do you look at it like you do a trash man? Like people look at a trash man?
no, and let me like go back and say that I like plumbing. It's actually really cool. So I worked on the construction side when I was welding. I was doing plumbing also. And at a construction site, it sucks, man, because it's just like you're just like a worker bee. You feel useless, because there's 100 of you around, and you almost know that that's like your peak. That's what you're doing. You're working for somebody or you're whatever. So service plumbing is cool because it's a different job every single day. You're doing something different at somebody else's house. Like there's repeat customers, but that's what I love. People. I love conversating with people. I like helping people, and I like troubleshooting. Like in the Marine Corps, like troubleshooting radios and stuff. I loved it because I don't know. There's always a way to figure something out. You could do something. And this job is basically all those put together.
Yeah.
There are like shitty days, man, where I'm like
literally
went into a crawl space the other day and there was a petrified cat like
standing
up. It looked like standing up. And I have a picture of it.
Was it a hoarder?
No, the house was disgusting. So another thing is, man, you don't understand how many people live like garbage. Like blows my mind that anybody would put anything on that countertop and it's full of dirty dishes. It's weird. I would say, man, close to 40% of it's under half. Under half of the houses I go to are disgusting.
Yeah.
And you would walking up to it, you think it's just a normal suburbia house, and you go in there and it's like nothing's been touched for months.
Dude, I've gone to dudes' houses on base before. And that's just how some people are. And people can't believe it in the military. They're like, I can't believe they're like this. And it's like, dude, that's how, if you're raised to just be used to having like clutter and shit laying around, like, but I've seen people that let their dog shit in the house and don't clean it up.
No way.
I swear to God, dude, when I first got to the fleet, like literally my first week in the fleet, my sergeant was like, hey, you got to go help so-and-so move out of his house. Like me and two other guys. And I went to his house and I'm like, what the fuck? I was just like, this dude was like a corporal. I was like, how do you even fucking live like this, man? Like, and to hit, you know what? There's no defense, honestly. I was going to say in his defense, I think he might have recently got home from deployment and part of it was his wife. But even at that point, I don't know, man. I don't know the situation, but I know that shit was nasty. And I lived in base housing the entire time I was in. Like the entire time I was in, minus the little bit of time I did in the barracks at the very beginning. The entire time I was in base housing. And you would see people that would move in and then move out within a few months for whatever reason. And then they would have to come in and like clean everything out, like pull all the carpet and shit out because they just let animals destroy the place. And like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. If you're one of those people, I mean, just know that's not a normal thing.
Stop it.
Like, I'm not saying you got to like, go sports a bulkhead, fucking like ridiculous field day. But fuck, take the trash out.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's a lot of houses I go to. We were in the we had a call to so what I do is when it comes to service plumbing, it's me working on a service that's already there. We do some like restoration, like go to a guy's house and he's like, hey, can you give me an estimate on what it would cost if they're redoing their bathroom, running the faucet over here, or So most of it's servicing. So you're working with shit that's already done. So we went to a vet hospital the other day, and so they're on like the lower floor. So the mainline sewage is actually
veteran or
an animal vet hospital, but it's not strictly the animal vet hospital. It's basically where the lab version of it, where they send all the blood and anything that they need to be testing on an animal and send it to this facility. And we're underneath kind of the main line, so the sewage line going to the street, because we're on like a bottom, like an apartment almost in the bottom. And so they have these big 5-gallon jugs. Think of if you took a Home Depot jug and stuck a sump pump in it and closes it off so you couldn't get into it. One hose going in, one hose going out. What that's doing is that's sucking out whatever bullshit they have in there, and then the sump pump is pumping it up because they have to go up to the main line. There's no grade. Well, these pumps went out. They're bad. And so the tubes, the giant 2-inch tubes that plug into these pumps, they have 15 foot of head in it, which is like 15 foot of waste. Yeah. Because it's all sitting there now.
Yeah.
And they have check valves. These green boxes, the check valves has a flapper in it. This flapper only opens one way. So it stops water from getting back in.
And so you're using your hands to describe it, but so for the people that are listening, so what you're saying is the thing you're working on was at the bottom of a 15-foot, 15 foot pipe that was coming down to it.
Right, and they're all holding disgusting veterinarian like.
Yeah.
So there's these things with the rubber boots that we use to connect this pipe to the check valve. The guy who I work with right now, who is just an absolute moron, is laying down in front of this valve, in front of the pump, and he takes a screwdriver and he unscrews a screw one turn on this little coupling that's on it. This little band that's on it. This motherfucker unscrewed the coupling or the band above the check valve. And all of a sudden it was just like, psst, like if you were to take a garden hose and put that fucker on shower and just point it at your face. Ugh. So it hits him immediately and it's spraying on him and it kind of looks like water. You can't really tell. It's got a little tint to it. And my leg is next to him and it hits my leg. And when this smell hit my nose, I can't describe to you. I can't even. I've never smelled it because they fucking have animal tissue, flesh, all this shit, urine sitting in these tanks that they have because everything gets dumped in. How are they dispose of it? And then it gets sucked out. So, man, it had this pungent, like, you could taste it.
Oh.
And I was like, fucking Glenn is laying in front of it.
Oh, and it's still spraying him?
Yes. So he turns it off, but he's soaked in it. And I've never, it didn't get anywhere on my hat, my shirt, nothing. But when I got home, my hat smelled so bad like it, I had to get a new hat. I can't wear the boots I wore there anymore. And I didn't even it was just a mist. I can't use them anymore.
What happened with him?
He took the coat that he had. He's a dirty, nasty, gross dude. Oh, God.
You think he has a gross house?
He doesn't have a house. It got foreclosed on. So he's living at his girlfriend's house that he bitches about to me about how her mom keeps the TV up too loud at night. But he's living there for free.
Wow.
It's his girlfriend's mom's apartment.
Holy fuck.
Anyway, he's laying it. He's a nice guy. But he just, his work ethic is just not good. Yeah. And if he ever hears this in the future, bud, keep it up. Keep that super spirit up, you know. Anyway, he put that coat in the back of the truck for like 3 days and then threw it back on today.
Oh,
and I was like, Glenn, you fucking reek. He's new car scent.
No way. So the mixture of new car scent and fucking like decaying.
Even
Is
after
he talking to customers like that?
So after that vet job we did, I called the shop and I'm like, hey, I can't go. There's no way I can go in a house like this. But luckily that lasted all day, so we didn't have to go to another one. But it was so, I had to sanitize, because we have like those nice LG washers. Mm-hmm. I had to run this through 3 times, the clothes I wear, to get the smell off of it.
Oh, really?
And it was like an hour and 40 minutes each cycle, because I had it on like super heavy duty with sanitize, and dude, it was gross. So anyway, to wrap that up, you have your good days and you have your bad days, you know.
Was that your worst day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was a pretty shitty day.
What's like the most common thing you have to do?
Man, okay, so most common is probably snake and drains. Like, hey, my toilet's backed up, or the floor drains have water coming through it, or the pee trap is full underneath the sink.
People can do that themselves, though.
So a lot of people don't.
How much do you guys charge to do something like that?
So to just snake a line is $186.
Fuck, the snake costs like $20 at
No,
Lowe's.
those are expensive. No, we're talking like
you're
75
talking about the big
foot,
ass long one.
75 foot We have like 3 of them, like a handheld Milwaukee one.
Yeah.
Like a medium-sized one with like a 3/8. It's like a braided hose, basically. And then we have the big one. So you
clear the entire line out. Not
yeah,
just...
so we'll like, from a house, we'll clear it all the way to the main. So what that means is if you live in a house out here at least, all your waste ties into basically one line and then exits the house. Or it'll tie in together in the yard or something underneath, and then all goes out to the main, which is usually underneath the street. Mm-hmm. And that main travels the other direction. So if you could clear everything to the main, that's city's problem. Like, get it in the main, that thing's huge. That thing's probably, I'm not sure how big main sewages are, but they're ginormous. You're talking...
Like feet.
I would think. No, not feet.
No?
No, I'd say maybe 10-inch lines, 12, maybe a foot. But that's totally guessing, because we've camera lines before. We'll stick a little camera in. It's like 100 feet long. It's pretty cool.
You feel like a spy when you're doing that?
Dude, so what I always think when I'm cameraing it, because you're watching on a screen, kind of like when you flew the, what was that drone we flew?
Oh, the Puma.
No, it wasn't the Puma. It was a bigger one. Either way, when you have a little like 10-inch screen in front of you, and so you're watching yourself camera, and it's nasty stuff. You see bugs down there, and like you're going over poop and like shit. And I'm always like, man, I'm scared I'm just gonna see a hand like grab that camera and
or
rip
like an
it.
eye. Someone's come up on a face.
Yeah.
You come up on like dead rats or anything?
Not like back into people's houses, but like dead, like just cockroaches or like just just gross ass shit.
But you get paid though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where we talked about moving to Colorado. So, long story short, my friend I went to high school with moved out here because his wife has an internship for like 2 years. So he moved out here with her, and he's a plumber. I haven't talked to him for 10 years, since high school. And he's been plumbing for 5 or 6 years. He hits me up on Instagram because he just happens to make one, because he's not like technological. He doesn't really care about that stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, you're out here? I'm like, yeah, dude. He's like, oh, I live in Little Italy. I'm like, oh, no fucking way, dude. I live 15 minutes away. So I'm like, well, let's meet up for lunch. I mean, I haven't seen him, like I said, 2008.
Yeah.
So Lacey and I cruise over there. Him and his wife are super cool. He's actually like a big time plumber. He's like probably the best plumber I've ever worked with. He's really, really smart, and he's a really big businessman. So like, he did his own plumbing company for a year before he moved out here, because he was like, oh shit, my wife's moving out here, so I got to move with her for 2 years. So he sold it to his friend he worked with. Mm-hmm. That first year, he made $150,000.
Oh, really?
In service plumbing, and like, house calls. That's like, and that's in 1 year. That's the first year, and it was just him and a truck.
That's sick.
So he's like, dude.
Well,
so
how much did it cost to get into it though? Like, if you want to be a dude with your truck, like, what's it going to cost you?
Man, so we were just talking about that the other day. So he's like, listen, let's do it. So and he wants me to move back to Colorado with him to start a plumbing company there.
Yeah.
He already knows. He's already got the whole plan already done. He already did it once. Mm-hmm. So he's like, all right, when I go back, I'm going to change this, or he already knows it all. So he's like, how about I go back, we'll split everything 50-50 with the company. And then he's like, we'll do $15,000 up front for me, $15,000 up front for you. We'll get a truck. He's already got all the tools. So I think we'll be good. But I don't know if I'm going to leave or not.
It'd be hard to leave out here, man.
So anyway, yeah, to start a company, it totally depends on tools, man. Like if you have no tools, no truck, no nothing, I mean, you're looking at, tools is endless, really. You're looking at, I'd say, minimum.
Depends on what you get.
$5,000 in tools, yeah. But there's just so many different types of plumbing tools, and then you got to get a base.
Yeah,
you got to get
plumbing tools are unique.
You got to get a base setup. So you got to get 100 half-inch 90s, 100 half-inch combos, 100.
No idea what you're talking about.
So imagine like fittings, like 90s or 45s,
90-degree angles.
Yeah, like imagine fittings.
I got the lingo.
All sort like P traps, PVC pipe.
P traps all day.
Yeah, so you have to stock up, right? Because you're driving, or you're whatever's in your truck is what you have, unless you got to go get a hot water heater or something. So, it just depends. But again, it's completely different. So sometimes we have to go to the construction site to help them out with something. So maybe we got a camera line or something. The whole vibe at a construction site is very like, the foreman's always the dick with the glasses and smokes a lot, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you have
Scunny.
The guys who've been there for a while, they kind of know what's going on. It's just drama to me. It's just like, everybody tries to suck the foreman's dick because he's the one who fires people. So then you get a bunch of fake people around, and you don't know who you can trust, and it's just not
for you,
cool,
huh?
man. Yeah, it's just wasn't. Some people love it. You get paid good, but you're just you're a rat in a line. You're just kind of like, you're a total number.
I think that's with any job, though.
Right. That's why I think owning my own company is the only way I can go. Not the only way I can go. There's a lot of things I can do, but
Working for yourself.
I don't want to work for anybody, man.
Yeah.
It's just, I love everything else right now. It's just, I need to get, if I can be my own boss and make good money, I'm happy as fuck.
A lot of people, the reason you see a lot of people fail at start working for themselves is, one, they don't allocate the right time, the right amount of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes time to do stuff. Like, you think you're going to have a lot of free time. I'm working for myself. I can do whatever I want. Like, I'll just take today off, which you can, but then you got to catch up on all that other shit.
Yeah.
You know? So you find yourself that you're working all day because you're working on and off all day. Like, if I want to stop and jump on the Xbox or something real quick, you know, I don't ever really do that. But if I wanted to, I would. You know, and it's no big deal because it's fucking my business.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what Keith was saying. Keith was like, man, but he's like, when you're owner and boss, vacations aren't really that much. He's like, you can do it, but, you know, especially with 50-50 like that, if I go on vacation, what he just picks up my slack, I guess, and he can go, but then you're still losing. You'd have
to schedule it if it's just you two.
Yeah, and he's like, the thing is, when you own your own company, that money starts coming in, dude, you just want more and more, and it's just, when you own your own, you're kind of, especially service plumbing, you're kind of open to as many hours as you want.
Yeah.
So he's like,
that's true. So for people that don't want to jump into buying their own business, but they think plumbing might be something they want to do, how can they get into like service plumbing without going the union route?
So it's just different companies. Like if you want to go the union route, I don't know if service companies are a union. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing, because like out here, like the big ones like Bill Howell Plumbing, Anderson Plumbing, those guys are just so much more expensive because their overhead is just so much more. There's just so many of them. Yeah. But if you're looking to get into, it's almost as the same as like which branch do you want to join? Like it's that easy where you're like, do I go to J. Geyer Plumbing where that's the construction, they only do construction, or do I go to Paws Plumbing with a big old dog on the side of the van? It's a super nice Mercedes Sprinter van. It's like, but yeah, you just go to a service company, someone that services houses.
It's just like a regular job, though. Like you apply, and you don't have to go to school.
So you don't have to go to school or anything for it. You can. So like in the union, if you're in plumbing, that's a 5-year. Out here, it's 5 years in school.
Yeah,
while you're working,
you're getting paid and stuff while you're
working. But for like Jake, when I got signed on to Pause, they're like, well, we can send you to school if you want. Like I took a test when I got there to show like my skill or whatever, and then they kind of like gauge you where you're at.
Is it like those Instagram pictures where it's like, which one will fill first?
No, it's like,
I see the valve there, idiot.
Different types of copper, or like a lot of it's code. So like a big majority of plumbing is knowing code. Like, hey, you can only go this many inches off of a P-trap, or you can go this many inches off a vent without taking a 90, or, you know, stuff like that. There's so much code to it. Like 17 inches from your wall to a toilet is where your toilet can be. If it's anything closer, it's off code. Can't do it. Hot water heaters need expansion tanks. Where the expansion tanks need to be, you can't do stuff like that you don't think of, but there's just so much code to it.
Look at you learning all this stuff.
And I don't even know that. Like there's
you just said it all.
So
You've only
much
been doing
to know
it for a
about
couple
it.
months too. That's cool.
But yeah, and it's cool working with my friend who's like, it's basically me, and we just like reconnected like it was nothing. We're like the same person. Like we're just wild and funny, and like, but he's also like, yo, like I can understand when it's time to learn. It's time to learn. When it's not, we're fucking off. Like it's simple shit like that.
Yeah.
But a majority of people don't know that. Majority of people don't understand what it's like.
Are they younger?
Yeah,
that's part of it, man.
I guess
kids in the Marines are the same way.
I keep forgetting I'm 30. Fuck.
Fucking old, man.
God damn it. It's like, what am I doing?
You're like, kids these days, fuck off. Instead of paying attention when I'm trying to teach them plumbing.
Honestly, sometimes I'm like, man, you little fuckers. Like, because I mean, I don't have anybody under me now.
They're over there making TikTok videos of you. Like, look at the old dude.
Someone called me a boomer the other day on the internet, and I'm like, God damn, I don't even know what that is.
My kid does that all the time.
What is that? Is that a new thing? I don't know how to take offense to it. I think I'm so off.
You've never heard this? I'm
so caught off by it that I'm like, oh, you little shit. Like,
it's almost not even worth talking about because it's it's old now.
I understand.
Boomers, it started by baby boomers about how old people can't do anything. You know, they give their social security number to random people online and stuff. That's what it is. It's supposed to be like someone's explaining something to you and you're old and you're explaining it like an old person. They're like, okay, boomer. Like, yeah, that's not how we do things anymore.
That's what that means? They're calling me old and shitty?
People have been saying it to you. You see,
I think twice now I've been called a boomer.
One, you didn't catch it online.
Maybe 3 times. I understood that it was happening. I've seen people be
you.
called boomers, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
But not catching it and being called it and like not understanding the new trend.
Yes, that's what I'm scared of. Official. So Glenn gets really mad at the tablet. He'll like hit it real hard because he just doesn't understand
just starts hitting.
Technology. Literally.
Yeah, give it a second.
And it scares me so bad because I'm like, I never want it to be where I'm scared to learn it.
You have to keep up with technology, man. Like,
or it'll eat you alive.
I know a lot of people just like, I don't get on social media. I don't get on anything. It's like, dude, I mean, I get it. It takes up a lot of time, but you're gonna be your grandparents if you don't. Like,
yes.
Like just the other day, like 2 days ago, I pulled out my phone and I was going through the app store to see what new apps were on there because I never really look, I always every once in a while I'll check them out, and I was looking at the VR apps, right? You have VR apps for your phone, or not VR, it's the augmented reality apps.
My buddy sells that.
They're kind of garbage right now, but like seeing it in its infancy and watching it grow is important. That way when it's actually like commonplace and everyone's using it, you get it. You have a base understanding of it because you've seen it and kind of played with it, when it was nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
life gets hard when technology gets hard. It's like, look at how hard it is for older people to use their phones and shit. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like when I'm trying to hop on my hoverboard and do my VR thing when I'm 80 or whatever, I don't want to be pissed off. I want to be enjoying it.
Well, when you're 80, maybe we'll be at the point where people are, that's the heater. You hear that noise?
Oh, yeah.
That's the heater. When you're 80, that's, what was I going to say? Oh, maybe they'll just be downloading the instructions for everything at that point.
Yeah, that would be cool. Neuralink. I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan lately. I know what's up.
Oh, yeah. He was talking to that AI dude the other day, the artificial intelligence guy.
Oh, I just followed him. That's one of my favorite guys he has on.
I don't remember his name, but yeah.
Friedman.
Yeah, he's a pretty good... Yeah, again, AI, it's technology. It's just keeping up with like what's happening,
Yeah.
Would you drive a Tesla? Would you let a Tesla drive you around?
Yes, 100%.
Would you prefer to drive or let the car drive?
It depends on how...
Time and place kind of thing?
Yeah, because strictly a Tesla or like a real smart car like in the future?
A real smart car that can drive you.
I think that I would have it drive me. Because one, kind of late, that'd be kind of cool. Just sit back, kick out on your phone and like... I mean, I'm sure I'd look up and like see what's going on, but...
Would you though? You say that.
In the beginning, 100%.
Until you can just recline back and get on your phone.
That's in the beginning, I'd be like, this is nutty, but I'm sure after time, I'd be like, pfft. And then you see the new guy getting like, loser, just chill out.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Quit making fucking videos.
Yeah. Quit making videos.
Gotta make an Instagram video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's scary.
I think I would let them drive me to work and shit like that, just so I could or to work, to school, just so I could... Oh, my fucking dog is moving around. I'd let it drive me to school just so I could do work on the way.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I'd still want to drive sometimes. I like driving.
No, and I saw something that was like California's trying to ban like fossil fuel, they want to be all electronic by 20-something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that does sound cool because like if that's what the future needs, I'm totally for it. Like if it sucks, but sometimes, like for instance, like slaves didn't want to be slaves during their time, people didn't want to live in the Great Depression during their time. You just get picked. If it's my time to change the future, then I'm like, all right, like I guess it's my time. Not saying slavery changed the future. I'm saying like if that's what it's going to take.
That's the era you were born in.
Yeah, it's like, all right, man, well, let's do it. But God,
you're saying you would have owned slaves?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm saying like who got dealt a shitty card?
Everybody, yeah.
Like us. I feel like everybody probably has a reason to say that.
We are living in the best time you could have possibly
100%.
lived in.
I think my shirt that I have on right now says "What a time to be alive."
Yeah, 100% is. It is like...
It's awesome.
It has been great. The last... I don't know. And, we have a skewed perspective, as a lot of military people do, just because we've got to travel and we've got to see shit.
Yeah.
You've got to do stuff other people haven't got to do.
Somebody was talking about that the other day. They were talking about Dubai or something, and I almost was like, oh, when we were there, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to sound like the douchebag that's always like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
When I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I've talked about it on the podcast for sure, where it's hard to have conversations with regular people like that. When people talk about world events and you're like, oh, when I was in Oman, it seemed like...
Yeah, for sure.
When I was in Hong Kong, when I was
in Bahrain,
how many
stealing
countries
a
have you been
car.
to?
Oh God,
Have you ever counted them?
no. So
I've never counted
What
them.
I did, I was gonna do. I wanted to kind of do like a collage of patches because I have a bunch of patches I've gotten throughout when I was in the military, and I wanted to figure out every country I've been to and get a patch for every country because I almost do.
Flag.
I almost do have them all. I think I just need a couple that I didn't get from that country that I'll just order or something. Not as cool, but I want to count. And then, I was going to do that thing on Facebook because you can do it on Facebook, all the places you have been.
Do they still have that?
A year and a half ago they did. Because I'm like, man, maybe I'll put them all up on here so I can because it shows you the world and you can kind of click and touch.
I remember
but I'm
having
like,
that in,
I don't want to be that.
2010.
I don't want to be that douchebag that does that. And then I'm like,
why, man?
Trying to show off that I don't know.
Are you showing off? I know a guy who got out and has a jacket, like a jean jacket, and he sewed the patches of each country he'd been to down the side, down the sleeve of one sleeve.
That's kind of cool.
It's very well. I mean, it's very
retro.
I don't know, man. He's a rock climber and stuff like that. Great dude. He was one of the combat camera guys on my first meal.
Oh,
yeah, good dude. Shoots good photos.
Man, what I would do. I mean, I'm just so butthurt I got in trouble in Bahrain. I really wish I wouldn't have I would not have because then I could have gone out in Hong Kong. I mean, we went out in Hong Kong hard, but I had to go back to the ship. Or Dubai. Also got to go out in Dubai, but I had to go back to the ship because I'd gotten in trouble.
You know, dude, I was let down by Dubai. I went to Ferrari World out there. Huge letdown. Huge letdown. I was like pumped. I was like, fuck yeah, I am going to Ferrari World and riding the world's fastest roller coaster, which is, I mean, the first time it took off, I was like, oh shit. Like, I actually said that out loud because, like, you hit like 0 to, I think it's like 100 and something miles an hour. It's fucking fast. It's like 150 miles an hour.
That's awesome.
But you hit that and then you hit this big loop. But anyway, nobody was there. Like, the place was empty. There was like 2 roller coasters and there was all this other shit. There was like a indoor go-karts you could do, and then this big simulator like you're driving a Ferrari F1 car and all this stuff, but you had to sign up for those, and all of them were signed up for, completely booked. Like, we got there before 11 o'clock in the morning, and for the entire day they were all completely booked before 11 o'clock. And it was like, dude, there's nothing to do here but ride this one roller coaster over and over again. And then the other people I was with didn't even want to ride it.
What?
Yeah.
I've only ridden a roller coaster once in my life. I want you to know that.
What? Really?
I get motion sickness so fucking bad.
Oh, man. I love roller coasters. Me and Kale,
I wish I could. And that's the thing. I don't choose this. I just get so motion sickness, I'll puke.
I do not understand why people go to Disney World or Disneyland when fucking Six Flags is
I'm getting nauseous.
a little bit farther up.
Knoxbury
and
is
it's
up there.
all I've never been there.
That's where I rode mine.
Knott's Berry Farm.
It was cool.
Is it like a full up theme park?
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you been to Legoland?
No.
It's all right.
That's why I didn't go.
It's like
I'm watching a Lego TV show though.
Like, if one of your cousins came out here, like one of your little cousins, they'd probably like it.
Yeah.
You actually get to go into the set where they filmed like the last scene or something like that in Legoland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, the one where Will Ferrell comes down the stairs into the basement.
I've never seen the movie, but
They
I
have
know.
the-
Oh, I know what the base. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you get to walk through the studio.
Oh shit!
It's all
really?
set up still. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man.
What
Yeah.
I would do?
So
I can't. I'm sorry, but
tell the world about your motorcycle.
oh, my lantern, bud. Where the fuck do I really even start? Drake.
It's dead.
Okay, so
She's dead.
we're out like cruising. Lacey's on the back.
What kind of bike is it? For the people who haven't listened to the other podcast, what kind of bike do you have and what do you have done to it?
Okay, so I bought a 2007 Hayabusa 1300. 2013, I think I got it for like $8,000 maybe. Always loved it. My buddy had one back home. He used to let me ride it all the time, which is crazy because you don't just let somebody ride a motorcycle. It's stretched, lowered.
Especially Hayabusa.
It's got intake cams done. It has the crank was sent out to APC and got balanced. It's bored 3 mil over to a 1400 or 1397. Intake tuned. Headers back, Brock's exhaust system.
What kind of horsepower are we talking?
Dude, still only like, not only, 199, maybe 200, 198,
Only 200 horsepower on how much does it weigh? 500 pounds? 300 pounds? Not
Yeah,
even
like 4
500
something,
pounds.
I think. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's
It rips.
yeah, and the thing is, the speedometer only goes up to 190 or 185, and it tacks out. So you can't really. Once you tack it out, I don't really know. I mean,
I hate it when I hit up to 185 and I can't tell how fast I'm
I
going.
bought that whole speedometer. I'm going to use that whole
I want
speedometer.
to use the goddamn thing. So you bury
It'll
it.
probably do.
How many
maybe
times have you buried
205
it?
Every time I go ride.
Every time you hit max speed? You think so?
Not max speed. Because, I mean, you can, once you bury it, you're at about 10,000 RPMs, and it goes up to 13. So it's still climbing, but it'll stop at about 12. And that thing's pretty old.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, all the bearings in the front are still stock, wheel bearings are still stock, but it only has 40. It's only got 40,000 on it. Those should last 60, 70, 80, 90,000, 100,000. Those will last forever.
Isn't it bad when those go out? Can't
so
that
for
lock
something
up?
catastrophic to happen to where your steering system is locked up, it's got to be pretty catastrophic. It can happen, yeah, but you're talking, because the steering column is just a circle with a whole bunch of ball bearings in it.
Yeah.
Sealed.
Yeah.
So that seal would have to crack, a ball bearing would have to like jump or something, get pinched in there, and then somehow pinch the rest of them. Which it could happen probably, but I mean, you don't think of that when you're running from the cops at 200 miles an hour.
That's insane. Where's your favorite stretch to
So
get
favorite
on
stretch is probably right before Las Pulgas exit.
Oh yeah.
So that's always cool
Between
because
the exits?
there's no cops that really sit there.
Yeah, between the two exits. Yeah, I
yeah.
used to get that on my Evo too.
That one, or up in Torrey Pines, there's a trail we ride Thursday night sometimes, and there's this long strip by the ocean that goes up Torrey Pines. That one's pretty cool because there's a real nice like slow right curve that you hit doing like 160.
You're talking about when you're coming down from the beach up that hill,
Yeah.
where you can go hike and stuff.
So right where you
Yeah.
pass the last volleyball stand or whatever,
Yeah.
everybody just rips on it, and then you hit whatever, and then because you got to hit that right turn. So you're hitting that sweeping right turn at like $160, lean, and you're just kind of hoping like shit. But it's cool. It's a total adrenaline rush. That's the only reason I do it.
And you'll do it with your old lady on the back.
Yeah, dude. And then she'll complain that we didn't go fast enough.
She's insane.
Dog, I'll bury that speedometer and she'll hit me on because we can talk on Bluetooth, and she'll be like, can we go faster? I'm like, girl, this thing don't go no faster.
You're lucky that how tall is she?
Man, she's gonna be pissed. 5'4" or 5'2".
Why is she gonna? Because you don't know her stats.
Yeah.
How much she weigh?
103.
So nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's like having nothing. That's like having a big
It's
backpack.
having a backpack. Yeah, that's what I call her. So she'll jump on. I've ran. I don't know if I can say it or not. You just bleep it. I've ran from the police with her on back.
On the 5.
No, fuck. Maybe I shouldn't. Can I say this?
Notionally, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Like notionally, I ran from some.
Just don't put a date.
I just
any
did
dates,
stuff.
I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know.
With her on back, and I'll what I do is I shake my body. If I shake my body and she's riding on back with me, she knows like to hold on tight because something's about to happen. We have to split lanes. We have to do something.
You just have a whole little
abruptly.
signal.
Yeah, so I'll do this, and she'll just kind of like suction cup to me, and so that's what happened. We were racing somebody past a certain somebody on the side of the road, and I'm like, shit. So we're already on the Bluetooth talking through the helmets, and I'm like, yo, just hang on. And she's like, okay. I'm like, I think we're getting chased. Okay. So we just rip it down this road, turn. Another guy comes in a SUV.
Can't outrun the radio,
in the
bro.
middle of the intersection. Nope, turn that way. Hit one of the interstates going south at about 100 and maybe 80, 90, come up a hill, and it's dead stop traffic. And I'm like, oh shit.
No.
And
they're
I was just
stopping the
squeezed.
freeway?
No, they didn't stop the freeway. I just squeezed. And literally, because you can't hit the brake. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything abrupt. Rolled off the throttle and got it down to about 100 miles an hour, got out of it, and then hit one of the exits, wrapped around the exits, came up, and I was like shaking. My whole body was like in shock.
Well, I bet the people that you fucking zoom by were like, what
Think
the
about that.
fuck?
A motorcycle went by me the other day, and it scared the living shit out of me. I like jumped in my truck, and I'm like, imagine mine flipping through the intersection.
How fast do you think you were going while you were lane splitting?
Realistically, I would say, man,
Over 80?
130,
Oh,
120.
Jesus Christ.
Because
really?
we can't. I'm telling you, it kind of crests up just a little bit, and right in the perfect spot you couldn't see. That's where the cars had stopped.
Oh my god.
So I had
dude.
like maybe like 4 seconds to kind of react from that speed to get me down as slow as possible, but to line up on a lane because I'm on the second to right lane. So I can't. In my head, I have to do the math real quick. Can I make it all the way over to the emergency lane without hitting a car? Is there a car in the emergency lane? Is there something? All that has to happen within.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck it. You know, you got to like dedicate, go, and then try to slow it down as soon as possible, not to move as well. With somebody on back.
Yeah, not
let alone your wife.
Clip a mirror.
Let alone your wife while someone else is after you. Like, what?
What did she say afterwards?
Nothing.
Was she like, oh, it was fun?
Not fun, but she was just like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, just like give me a second. We continued riding. We met up with our buddies.
She's like, well, if something happens, it's not my problem anymore.
Kind of. And sometimes I forget about that. Sometimes I'm like, man, I have my wife on the back. What am I doing? Because I'll rip past people, you know, whatever.
You don't ever just fucking cruise with the traffic, man?
No.
You're always... Man.
So it's constant Frogger. You're always in your head. You're always like, okay, let me catch the next one. Let me catch the next. And that's
the thing about riding like that is you get so used to it that, like, to normal people that don't ride like that, it looks crazy. But your reaction time is like trained yourself to, like, if I went out and tried to do that, if I tried to follow you on a bike, I'd kill myself, obviously, because I don't do that.
But I've lived. You know, every day we used to ride.
That's what I'm saying. You do it so much, you ride like,
and that's why sometimes I got to step back and I'm like, dude, in my helmet, if I've made it a certain distance on the way home from the ride, I'll stop. A couple miles out to the house, I'll stop. I'm like, all right, it'd be silly now to get in an accident from here to home.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, all right, like I had my fun,
game off.
But sometimes, dude, that music kicks on, and I'm like, let's fucking. And that
so
bike is so
music
powerful. Yeah,
I thought a lot of people don't listen
to a Bluetooth
to music.
helmet or a Bluetooth intercom system.
Don't you want to be able to see and hear traffic, or do you just?
I can see it. I just can't hear it.
Do you use your mirrors very often?
So a lot of people ride without them, and I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I use them all the time.
You don't have your stock mirrors, though, right?
No, they're still stock, because stock ones look fine. And like,
are they?
Yeah. And
I thought you had low profile ones for some reason.
I'm like, dude, fuck. Some people ride with nothing. I'm like, you're an idiot, man. I look back all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Anytime especially if you're overtaking vehicles, all that shit, you have to know what's behind you. You can't.
I haven't rode in years, man, but I want to get back on a bike. But, dude, there's so many bad drivers out here.
But it almost makes you a better driver, though. You have to be. You got to be very defensive when you drive and offensive. Like, you have to kind of do both.
Driving
in lane split. You never have to.
Driving in California is different than driving
100%.
Like back home in Indiana.
It's psycho. I get on that road today, and if I could put 2 seatbelts on, I would. I'm like, this is nuts.
I forget. Like my mom, like when I had my Evo and stuff, I'd be driving, like pick my mom up from the airport. She'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing?"
My mom's always tripping out.
I'm using my turn signal. Like, get out of my face.
Yeah. That's why sometimes I'll tell my mom, like I got my mom on the bike the one time and she about killed me. Oh my God.
Oh, you put your mom on the bike?
So I was like, get on. She's like, no. And she kept squeezing me. We were going through Carlsbad, going slow. And she squeezed, slow down. Because I taught her how to use the Bluetooth. So she'd call me, slow down. So she called me one more time. I go, you call me one more time? We're going on the 5. She called me one more time. I didn't even answer it. Beep. Got it on the 5 and hit about 160, even 150 maybe.
Oh my God.
Lane splitting, not at that speed, but probably 140. Yeah, let's say 160.
How long does it take you to get up to 160? How big of a stretch do you need for that?
I mean, in the 8th mile, I'm doing 130 or 113 or something.
That little stretch between the 2 gates is perfect.
Yeah, you can.
I love that little stretch. Yeah. I used to. I'm in a Jeep now, so.
And you know how what else is weird? And then, like the videos I'll post of me, because I'll post on Snapchat me riding the bike, right? Like ripping it around traffic or topping it out. People lose their mind over that. You're like, you're an idiot. What the fuck are you thinking? And to me, I'm like, that's not because you can ride with one hand though. You're not doing a motion of a bicycle. Once you anything over 10, 12 miles an hour, you push.
You're leaning.
You push and you lean. You never turn the steering wheel ever.
Yeah.
So you could ride with one arm and it wouldn't bother you until you're doing a slow enough speed where you can fall over.
Yeah, or you need a shift.
Yeah, I guess
that's the only reason.
The only thing I don't do is I don't stunt. No wheelies. It'll bring the wheel up through gear sometimes, but it's stretched.
The guys you go ride with, you'll have dudes doing that though, right?
Yeah, there's dudes with one leg that do it. The guy has one leg. He lost his other leg riding, and he still does it.
I mean, be dedicated to your sport.
Dude, that asphalt is relentless. Well, you're not like I used to race quads and stuff, and we do wheelies on quads everywhere, but you're going slow. On a motorcycle.
How many times have you seen people go down?
3 or 4 or 5.
You ever seen somebody go down and take somebody else down with them?
Yeah. On a base motorcycle ride, took 4 people out.
Oh, really?
Around a curve. He just didn't turn.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's why on those base rides I'd ride in front. I'm like, there's no way I'm letting you guys make me fall.
Yeah.
Okay, so knock on wood.
That's super sketchy.
I haven't fallen, and I don't plan on it. But
yeah,
that's why I don't ride behind people.
Huh. Yeah, man.
People will go out. So people will go out and they'll be like, there's people that, there's either people who have been down or people who are going down. I think that's fucking dumb. That's like going into a fight and be like, I'm going to lose. People, every day you need to go out thinking you're going to fall. Why would I think like that?
I mean, I hear the dress for the fall, not the ride. I have heard that there's two kind of riders.
I think it's stupid.
When I rode back in the day, it made me think like, man, when am I going to go down?
Exactly.
I think
exactly. Because then it makes you, if you do go down, I knew it was going to happen.
If you
go into a fight, I knew I was going to lose.
It's not because I was a shitty rider. It's because
exactly. It's fucking stupid.
You've either
I get in
gone
arguments
down
about people about that. I'm
down.
like, you guys are dumb.
I don't know. I have no.
Anyway, you should ride. I gave you that jacket. Ride.
Yeah, I know. I need to. I should. Maybe this summer.
There you go.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what's going on. So you never said what happened to your bike, though. Let's bring it back. Bring it back.
So Lacey and I were riding the other day. We were out the other night. I got home from work real earlier. My buddy was like, "Hey, you want to go riding?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to. There's too much to risk, because every time you go ride, you're risking getting pulled over. Because even if you're on a crotch rocket,
like an asshole.
No, even if you're on a crotch rocket, on a cruiser, you can cruise at 80, 90 miles an hour, and it feels like you're doing 50. It's a comfortable. Motorcycles are fast, no matter what kind you have. It's a fast vehicle, and so every time you go out, it's like, okay, am I gonna get chased today? Do I feel like getting chased by you know what I'm saying? So I go out riding, and we're in PB. We had a couple drinks, just hanging out. And I'm good. And I'm like, all right, let's go back. So we go back, and there's a Subaru with some kids in it, and they're like revving it up, and I'm always fucking with cars too, and just fucking, just having a good time.
Guys.
And so we're like ripping it down the 5. Or not the 5, the 8, or whatever it was. And we slow down to get next to each other at a roll race at 80. Mm-hmm. And I'm dropping it down to gears, kind of figuring out which gear I'm in. And the RPMs, all of a sudden, I drop it down and the back tire kind of skips. So the back tire is skipping because it's in too low of a gear. There's too much compression. I don't know if this has anything to do with it because I've done that a million times. But Lacey was on the back, so the back tire, it's a little harder for it to skip up and down. And all of a sudden, I ripped it. And we're racing, and I'm doing maybe 150-ish. And I kind of hear a weird noise. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, that, again, you're going fast. You hear a noise.
Something happens.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're like, oh, shit. So I slow down and it dies. And I'm like, God, I start it and it sounds just like a 4-wheeler. And I'm like, what the hell? So I limped it home. Got home, it died. At every intersection, it would die. I had to keep the gas going. And, I'm like, fuck, I don't know what it was. I don't know if the valves are bent. I thought the valves were bent open in those 2 cylinders, So we tear it apart. 2 cylinders don't have compression. Come to find out, we think it's a head gasket. My buddy works at a shop. Dude, it's not the head gasket. There's a fucking chunk missing of the motor where the head gasket's supposed to be in between cylinders. So if you can imagine a head gasket looking down, there's 4 giant holes, perfectly shaped holes. In between each hole is maybe 3/4 inch of steel or whatever it's aluminum.
Cylinder wall.
Yeah, the cylinder wall. There's a big chunk of that missing out of one. So it basically made those 2 cylinders 1 cylinder, kind of.
Yeah, so it was just sputtering back and forth at each other.
So it was running on 2 cylinders. Fuck, so now I'm like, okay, do I bore it back out because it's bored out? Do I buy a bored out cylinder for $1,000? Or do I try to send this off to a place to repair it? That thing's it's just never going to end. I bet if I had a guess, I'm at $20,000.
Oh,
from
really?
Purchasing it, it's broke.
You said you
4
you
times.
paid 8 for it?
Yeah, I bet. Big bore kit. Both times I had the motor built was
pricey.
$3,000. That's $6,000 just in building the motor, not including the exhaust intake.
People don't realize how much machine work costs. Having custom machine work, something like that's got to be that exact, that precision machine work.
Because think about having that skill of working that CNC or whatever you're working to build that.
Yeah. I was kind of getting my car all the way ready to do either an upgraded turbo on it or something, something bigger. Who knows? That's what I was working towards when I ended up selling it.
So that's where I'm at now. I'm like, do I go back down to stock compression and just turbo it? So you're looking at, I could push, with that motor, I could probably push 450.
Fuck that. Why?
400. I'd say 400 horsepower.
Why do you gotta go
Boost.
faster?
If you gotta ask yourself why, bud, it's time to get out the game. There's never too much horsepower ever. Never can you have too much horsepower.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Especially where we live
on 2 wheels.
You never know who
on 2 wheels. If you were like, hey, man, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be a dedicated track bike, then I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool. It makes sense.
You're such a dad.
But fucking. Hey, man. Okay, boomer.
Dude, you're in the race game too. What do you mean? Why you can never have too much horse? If someone was like,
Not
"I'm going to
in-
give you 1,000
but-
horsepower today," I'd be like, "Let's do it."
I would street race and stuff. I would go race on the 5 and the 15 and everything, but I wouldn't weave in and out of traffic. If I race someone, I waited till an open spot. And if someone that was racing me started to weave in and out of traffic, I just pulled
A car
back.
is totally different than a bike, though.
Well, yeah, I agree. You can finish that.
I mean, just talk about weaving. Like, I don't know. To have I'd totally take 400 horsepower.
Seeing cars weaving out of traffic, I'm like, that dude's a douchebag. I'm like, come on, man. At least like, because if you fuck up, man, you're taking out.
I
a
totally
family
understand
in
that.
a car.
100%. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's.
I don't
move.
race. I don't like race in and out of traffic. I do on my own. Like I'll rip it through traffic, but not like what you're thinking.
Plus,
like,
that's how you get the cops called on you in a car. Because when you finish in a car, you're right there in traffic with them. You finish in a bike, you're a mile ahead, 2 miles ahead. You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just that's where I'm like, man, maybe I'll just turbo it. But you're looking at $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
To really set
just for
that
the
up.
kit,
But
or is that for everything?
So the kit would probably be $3,000 and probably $1,000 for installation because I don't know how to do that.
That can't be hard. If it's like a car,
I'm not sure. So I thought about also doing.
It's all bolt on.
I don't know. I thought about doing a NOS kit as well because my injectors can take like another 75 shot of NOS.
Really?
But like my buddy who used to ride back in the day is like, dude, you won't even tell. He's like, honestly, it's not that big of a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
and
why
then
don't
you're
you
pushing
just
the
go take
motor
it up
for
to,
that much harder.
Why don't you take it up north and go fucking drag race it? Or is there a strip down here?
Well, there used to be the San Diego one. Now it's shut down. And then there was Verona I went to once, which is racing on a racetrack is completely different.
Where's Verona?
East, like 2 hours, I think I drove. But a racetrack, dude, it's your boots stick to it. It's so sticky when you walk down it. So it's like that's where it's street racing becomes more competitive and more dangerous. Really, way more dangerous because it's just so easy to like loop a motorcycle. To take off, that wheel comes straight up in the air and you loop it.
Oh, you think drag racing on an actual track is more dangerous?
For me, yeah, because that's where you're.
Well, that's just because you're not accustomed to it.
Right.
You just got to put in the time. You got to put in the seat time.
Not the seat time. Think of the money. Think of the stress that goes on your motor from that.
Dude,
It's
it's rough.
so much harder than
I lived out at Camp Lejeune down the road, like 20 minutes away in Havelock, or not Havelock. I can't remember the town. Like 20 minutes away, there's a drag strip. There's I think it's an 1/8 mile. It could be a 1/4 mile. I'm not 100% sure.
I've only raced an 1/8. I've never got to race a 1/4.
I wanted to take my Evo there so bad, but it's so hard on the car. Like the entire drivetrain, any weak link in your drivetrain is gonna snap.
Yep.
And having an all-wheel drive car and stuff like that, I was like, dude, I don't know. And then the one time I was like, you know what? This weekend I'm taking it. It rained, and I was like, that's a fucking sign. I was like, well, I'm moving in 2 weeks, so I guess it's, fuck it.
It's hard to find a quarter. I think the closest 1/4 mile here is up by LA because everything's out here. Whatever.
Yeah,
the
you have
rule
that
is.
NHRA track up there.
Yeah, but then a full day of that, it's expensive, and it's like you're looking at a couple runs you're getting.
Is
maybe.
that Pomona?
I don't know, but at a big track like that, there's just so many people there. You're probably putting in maybe 3 runs in an entire day.
You think so?
That's the guys who have gone there before. That's what they told me when I was at
Just
Verona.
like a weekend open.
Like just going for a day. I don't know what day, but
What's
dude,
that
it's
cost?
hot out there. It's man, the Verona one was. Dude, I don't remember, $50 maybe or something, $100.
I did.
And then I bought some pictures. It's just the gas. You got to think of the gas to get there. It's a 2.5 hour drive, I think. So you're almost a full tank of gas in my truck, or a 3/4 tank in my truck.
Yeah,
because that thing's a piece of shit. So you're looking at
when I was at Camp Lejeune, they had autocross, and I used to take my car out there and do that. And you'd pay like $20, and you'd go out and get 3 runs. And it's like if anyone out there, 3 to 5, sometimes you get extra. If I'm pretty sure they still do it. If anybody's at Camp Lejeune, I think they do it out here too. They used to do it in the parking lot, actually, the same one that they used to do the drag strip in.
Yeah.
But at Lejeune, what was cool is at least like once or twice a year, they'd go over to Cherry Point, the air station. It'd be like going up to March Air Base. They'd close down one of the runways and they'd set the course up on the runway.
Yeah.
And it was fucking badass. And you pay $20 and you get to go out there and do like 3 runs.
See, like that's a good idea to do on base like that.
And you can take any car. Well, it's the SCCA runs it, the Sports Car Club of America.
Yeah.
So it's NCSCCA is who I went through. It's super fun, and dude, you see everything out there. You'd see like guys, a lot of Miatas. It's like built for it.
Yeah.
Miatas. You'd see Evos and stuff like that. But you'd see some dude was out there in his SUV running through it with like a Suburban. You're like, what's he doing? Like, fuck it, man, whatever.
They were going to shut down. So I signed up for a thing. I think it was in Arizona in Carlsbad. They shut down a section of the airport, like a small airport, and then they turned that into a mile drag strip. You can do a half mile or a 1 mile
air attack or strip alert or strip attack or some shit like that.
But you had to have.
That's what Nick used to do.
So that's what I wanted to go do. But you have to have. You have to have a kill switch, which I don't have. I'd have to install, which they're not expensive. It's this dumb big box that sits on your handlebar. I have to buy it. I have to install it just for this one thing. And then I know there's like 2 other rules, and I'm like, man, that'd kind of be a pain in the ass to have to do.
I feel like the wind would be rough on a bike out there because it's out in the desert.
I think it would be so cool because then you could finally do a legal. Let's see how fast this thing will go.
Yeah,
because it's now that it's
it's
geared,
a half a mile.
Is it a half? There was one in Arizona. I think that was a mile.
That might be what it is. Yeah, so I think there's a both. I think you're right. There's 2 different ones.
I'm like, that would be cool, but it's geared low now, so it not super low, but I think it'll top out at like. So I have an app on my phone. It's called the GPS app or something like that. It's basically it's top speed app. It'll lock whatever your top speed is in that riding session. It'll lock it for you and then show you what it was.
Oh, really?
And I had there was kind of some traffic. It wasn't like a true straightaway, and I was at like 11,000. So I had 2,000 RPM to go, and I think I said I was doing like 178. So I think maybe it'll top out now at 180-ish.
Well,
185-ish.
Anything right now, but
well, right now, yeah,
right
it's
now,
in fucking pieces.
Yeah, damn.
It's just not. Man, that thing costs money. It's just, and it's my fault because I ride it like an asshole. Yeah. But I'm like, it's supposed to be. Like, I built it like that. I want to ride it like that.
I was pretty easy on my car until I would run with somebody. Like I didn't. You see a lot of dudes fucking revving, shifting constantly so you can hear their fucking blow off valve and shit like that. You're like, oh yeah, man, living between shifts. I get it.
I just don't understand who drives those and says that's cool.
The funny thing about Evo guys, the Evo is it has a recirculating one, so you don't hear that. You don't hear that, unless you're inside the car, you can kind of hear it. But dudes will replace the part that came with it to get the one that you can hear because it sounds cool. And I'm like, you're a fucking douchebag. Like, do something to make the car faster. And then you hear them, they shift constantly, so you can just hear the But so if you drive like an asshole, run from stoplight to stoplight, like hard, like some dudes do, you'll see the dudes coming off base, running right there through coastal. Everyone's got a fucking flex as they're coming through coastal. You either have your fucking Mustang or your like
old truck,
big ass truck
with a cowboy hat. I love seeing dudes with cowboy hats on.
Got the cowboy hat, got the flags hanging off the back.
It's like when in Rome, dude. That's why I am the way I am now because I was after a while being out there. I'm like, dude, let's just do it,
dude. I couldn't get my phone out in time at school the other day. So when the main thoroughway through school, there's a walking side, and then one side is designated for skateboarders, like skateboarders and bikes. And it's just this big ass straight thing, and you'll see dudes coming down it, just cruising down it, because it's kind of a slope one way. And there was a dude longboarding down with a big ass cowboy hat on. This dude was like a cowboy, but he was on his longboard just going at it. I was like, fuck, where's my phone? It looked pretty funny.
I don't get why I see people all the time in Oceanside, like obviously like boots, or I hope they're boots.
Urban cowboy, man.
And like those stiff ass Wranglers with the cowboy boots on, with a tucked in shirt. Dip.
What if that's how they dressed in like Montana?
And then the thing is, it probably, that's what I'm saying. It probably is. But when you're here, dude, it's hot out, man.
Yeah.
Put some shorts on, some flip flops. Like, shut up.
That's if you saw someone like that in Hawaii, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
What the hell?
Dude, I'm in Hawaii. I got a Hawaiian shirt on. All right, let's get with it.
Although last time I went home, I really like underestimated how cold it was going to be. And I had like a pair of black jeans with like some rips in it, and like my hoodie, and that was it, and a pair of low top Chucks. And it was negative 28 one day.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what the fuck? It was a record cold last year. It was like a huge cold front came in. I think it was with wind chill, or maybe not. I don't know. But either way, it was negative 28. I'm like, I am an idiot.
When Kel and I went home this time, I'm like, God damn it, it's gonna be freezing ass cold. So you're from Illinois, I'm from Indiana, so I get it.
Yeah.
Other people out there get it too. I'm like, dude, it's gonna be frigid. Kale has Chuck Taylors and flip flops. I'm like, I bought him new shoes. We had to get him pants because all he has is like shorts. That's like all he wears. You know, like had to get him all. And then we get there and it was warm as fuck the whole time.
Oh man,
it snowed like the first day. There was like a little tiny bit of snow on the ground.
Oh, you mean before you left, you had to buy this stuff?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you got there and were like, oh shit.
No. I bought all this
Why
shit and
would
then
you
we
be
went
packing
there.
That?
No, yeah, we I had to buy him some new shoes and everything, but whatever.
Damn, yeah, that's the same thing happened to me. I went home and I'm like, that's the whole thing
I
about
had to buy myself the same thing.
moving to Denver. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do it. I've gone 8 years now without having to deal with a winter.
You know, but winters are kind of cool though because you get come home and
yeah, but I am over.
Chill
I don't
out.
and what sit on the couch and
relax.
The main thing for me is that if I don't work out, I will not maintain this dad bod. No joke. Because if I don't work out, I just get fat.
The shitty thing about you though is you work in a service industry, so you'll be out working in that.
That's
shit.
That's why I'm like, dude, I don't know. One, I don't want to do that. Any water lines in the ground up there are 7 feet down because it has to be below the frost barrier.
Yeah.
So you're like, work is going to suck a little bit more. And imagine motivating yourself to go to the gym in the winter.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? No one's gonna see that. Like, I'll be like, I'm too smart. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
So those are my like Colorado, but Colorado does sound cool. Like the mountains sound cool.
The views are amazing.
Like, but I love sunsets.
You got Red Rocks there, the amphitheater. That's a famous amphitheater. It's fucking amazing.
Maybe my aunt and uncle live in Colorado Springs, so I'm like.
Flores is out there.
So I think this year Lacey and I are going to fly to Denver, kind of like check it out for a weekend and see how we feel about it. Because we've driven through there. We just never stopped.
Hit up Flores. He's like not even 30 minutes from Denver while you're out there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Have a meal or something with him. It's amazing out there. I don't get working outside in the cold. My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he's a construction worker. He's a laborer in Indiana. He's a union dude.
Yeah.
And he has been working outdoors through like 0 degrees, like outdoors in it all day.
That
rains
sucks.
one day, snows the next day. He's out there trying to do concrete and shit. Like, I'm like, dude, fuck that, man. Good on him, man. You got to be a certain individual to.
And that's what I just don't want to do it, man. If I don't have to, why am I going to do it? Not the Colorado thing. I'm saying like that's why I left the construction thing because
if I had a job like that, I would come home and sit on the fucking couch and be like, "Don't anyone talk to me." Don't fucking talk
That's
to
like,
me.
Bring
me some soup.
My dad's a construction worker. My brother-in-law, he is a foreman on like a pipeline construction thing outside. And I'm like, how are you guys just doing, like, how are you living somewhere where your fucking skin hurts, man?
That Midwest cold is not a
And
joke.
everyone from at home is like, so they're like, yeah, winter.
You get used to it.
But it's a
cold winter this year.
Yeah. I have to say, like, you do get used to, like, just putting a jacket on before you go outside.
Well, it's just like living in the desert, man.
But, man, is it just not fun.
If you could live in the extreme cold or extreme warm, which one would it be?
How extreme warm we talking?
We're talking 29 Palms or some shithole little tiny town in Michigan, like Upper Peninsula.
Oh, Michigan. Because then you have summer.
I'm talking about, but in the winter, but all the time.
Michigan.
Say that. You'd say cold,
Yep.
just frigid cold.
And it's weird because if I had to choose between working in the extreme heat or the extreme cold, I'd rather work in the extreme heat.
Really?
Because your fingers still work, you still have dexterity.
Yeah.
In the extreme cold, you're not.
Depends on what you're doing for work.
That's when I thought about going home to weld. I'm like, well, I'll just move to Chicago. I'd be making crazy money. I'd buy a house cash. Like Chicago, there's so much work. I don't live in downtown, but in the area. I'm like, imagine having to weld outside because you need like. You can't be shaky. You need that would suck ass, dude.
You can stack dimes.
Like when I land in Chicago, when I get out and it's winter, you get that nasty cold breeze and it smells like dirty Chicago and you're like, fuck. I live in San Diego and when I go on vacation, I fly back to a vacation. I'm like, oh shit, San Diego, what's up, dude?
What up?
Yeah, like missed you.
Yeah, like
yo, right, palm tree, how you doing?
Dude, 3 weeks in Indiana. It wasn't that bad for me, but coming back is definitely like, oh, thank God. Like the weather's consistent. I never check the weather. Like if it rains out here, I'm like, God damn it, it rained. Like
I think about that probably once a week.
I think when I lived in Indiana, I was checking the weather twice a day. Like, oh, okay.
I didn't have a cell phone. I did have a cell phone, but I didn't have weather on it when I left living in Illinois. But I bet if I did. Imagine having to make plans around weather.
What are you talking about? Get on that weather channel, bud. On TV.
Remember? I guess. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I would get on back in the day. before the cell phones were things.
Imagine being like, hey, you want to go
popular.
out tomorrow or next weekend? Be like, oh, let me check the weather first. It could change. No, that shit doesn't happen here.
I remember one time we did a full gear layout. Damaro and fucking Flores had all the guys out there, and it was Zool. Zool, I think, was making
When it rained?
the brigade do a layout. I think it was, I don't know.
Yes, you mean when it rained?
Yeah.
I was there.
Were you?
I was working that layout.
It was like the geared layout was complete, and we were like, all right, we got to go get him to come out here and do the inspection real quick. And it's like, in that 2-minute time frame, a storm just rolled in. It was like, boom!
It was insane.
All the record jackets.
No, we had told them the beginning of that day, we're like, yo, it's supposed to rain. Like, it has a 40% chance of rain, I think you said, afternoon.
Oh, really?
So we got there early, had it all laid out, but they didn't want to check it for whatever fucking reason until the afternoon.
I think it was Captain Watt that had to check it.
So they waited until the afternoon, and we're watching the cloud. We're like, dude, these clouds just came out of nowhere. Pff, they're like right here. And so imagine a parking lot like the size of
it went from like nice day out to a pretty good storm.
Imagine like a normal gas station parking lot. That's maybe even 2 of them. That's how much gear there was laid out. Man, there was more than that. Like 3 of those bitches.
It was the brigade's entire gear.
So all of a sudden, dude, these clouds came in, woof, and we're like, yo, we got to go. But we're kind of like, is Major Whiteman going to... He waited for all of a sudden rain triplets. Then he was like, all right. So we didn't get a head start on this. Dude, it was torrential downpour. We had just finished the record jackets. We had just finished SL3ing all the bags. And what happened was that when it started raining, no one put the SL3 back in the bags. They just threw it in the brigade.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a fucking pyramid of record jackets and
all the different teams' gear was mixed up.
And then we had to try to go back through and find it all. That's why we started taping everything after that.
Taped.
Yeah, that's why we started doing it.
Because Damaro was the only one that could pull his shit out real quick. Damaro, man.
Dude, that sucked so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad we peed on that man's front doorstep.
Who, Zool?
Yeah. Not in his doorstep, in his yard.
Was that one the
we
one
had the party bus, and we accidentally peed in his yard.
I couldn't remember if it was his gear.
I think we told it. Yeah, we told it with Rango.
No, yeah, I remember the. Yeah, good times, man. But yeah, I don't check the weather out here.
No, I don't ever.
It's just too nice.
Even in the winter, it's still like it's cold in the mornings. It is.
You wear your hoodie in the morning and you take it off in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, yeah. And summer's coming up.
I actually prefer the weather like it is right now more than I do summer. This is the time because one, it rains every once in a while, so it keeps everything from being like dead and brown. It's like it's still green, and then 2, like it's chilly. It's like cool in the morning, so you get up, throw the hoodie on, and then t-shirt in the afternoon. Like it's perfect. Everybody's
listening like shut.
They're like fuck you. Everybody in the Midwest.
Shout out to Ryan Boringer. I just want to put his name out there real quick.
Old Bo, is it Boringer or Boringer?
I call him Bowstringer. I call him Slinger. He's a drill instructor now. I talk to him all the time.
Super motivated DI.
I love it though.
He's a solid dude though.
I love it.
He's a solid guy.
Absolutely. We still snap all the time.
Do you?
He's goofy. He's only got 1 cycle left, I think he said. Oh, and he's getting out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's getting out now.
Why? I thought he loved the core. God core country.
A lot of things changed, I guess. I don't know. Get him on here. Ask him about it.
I will.
Well, he's in, but he gets out soon.
I'd even have him on while he's in. If he wants to come in and talk about being a DI.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he'd probably be down.
If he wants to come in during a downside, I'm right down the road.
Slinger. He lives right down the street, damn it.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Yeah, I think so. We'll find out.
Well, if he doesn't, fuck him.
Frick him. Frick him right in the A.
Frick him.
How would you feel about having Nutter on your podcast? If you could, would you?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I told. So shout out to Frolic, JT, Rango, and them. Frolic and just started a podcast fueled by hate and caffeine. He bought the web domain and everything. He actually makes really funny memes. So anyway, he started a podcast, and I'm like, Rango's on the podcast with him.
Minutes just so you guys know.
And I said, dude, would you guys have Nutter and Ski? I forgot Ski. He's gonna be so angry. Anyway,
that's the one I listened to. Is the one with Ski?
Yeah.
Or is he a host?
No, I don't. He might be. I think they're all kind of on it. I don't know. Anyway. I might be like a weatherman kind of thing on it. I'm not sure yet. I think it'll be really funny. Maybe. I haven't done anything, but it was funny when we were talking about it. Either way, Nutter. I said you guys should have. I said let's have Nutter on a podcast. I'd jump in for that for sure.
100%.
I'm like, because now it would be human to human talking. Not that he is a human, but like...
Honestly, I've talked to him a few times. I've sat down and just kind of bullshitted with him because of whatever reason. Like, we're on ship, and we just happen to be next to each other. He's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the word. If you're going to use a word, I would say interesting.
I mean, he has skills. I'd like to hear him play guitar more. He's a really good guitarist.
I would not like. I'm sure he is good, but I wouldn't care to listen to him actually play in front of me. I'd probably fight him.
Why don't you explain to the people that don't know who you're talking
Everyone,
about?
well, not everyone.
Only if
this
they've
guy
listened-
named Nutter is just.
Knutson.
Can we say his name?
Oh, I'll blurb that out.
Oh, anyway, I don't care. Knutson. I'll say it again. God damn it. Anyway, this guy was just not a. He's just not a real person. He had a
You're a dick.
Oh,
Don't be a
okay.
dick
Well, he
about
wasn't
it.
on your team. Either way, he just wasn't common sense. This guy ate a cookie and then spit it out so he wouldn't get the nutrients of it.
I
and
would
fat.
start with
This guy hid underwear underneath his pillow, dirty underwear and socks
You
underneath his pillow, and slept on it.
You should start with, hey, he has a twin brother that's autistic.
He was in the Marine Corps. That's how he chose to join.
Okay,
Like,
I don't.
he was in.
Did he, or did he get talked into it? Some recruiter's like, fuck yeah.
I don't care. That's not my issue.
He's just got a touch of it.
Why? What was he even doing in a recruiter's office?
so
Why
here's
was he
what-
even talking to anybody in the military?
Tell me if someone didn't pull him aside and be like, hey, man, you want to be cool?
He's like Rain Man, though. He's like crazy smart with math and shit like that.
He is.
But normal human people's dog, we had to have a drinking water log for him because he would forget to drink water throughout the day.
Dehydration's real.
Imagine that. Normal human things you couldn't do. Either way, I said, let's put him on the podcast.
I would totally.
I
have
think
him.
he's an interesting guy, and I just there's something going on in that head, but they were like, dude, no way.
If you want to split the airfare, I'll fly him in.
I would not pay a single dollar for that
to
man.
see him again.
I wouldn't even.
What
No,
if he's super cool now? What if he's like, what's up, dude?
I don't care.
What if he
After-
comes in and I was like, I was just fucking with you guys the
So
entire time.
after Green passed away on deployment, he talked to Green often.
Oh, no way.
So because they played Pokemon together or whatever. I think that's what it was.
Pokemon Go or whatever.
Something like
Pokemon
that.
Go was big during that one. Wasn't
So Green passes away. Knutson has duty down in the well deck the morning they're doing his going away ceremony.
it? I don't play Pokemon, by the way. I just want to put
Either
that
do
out
I.
there.
So so one of the guys comes up and says, hey, one of the guys who worked with Sergeant Green wants to go to the funeral. I'm sorry, let me take it back. Knutson did not have duty. One of the guys who worked with him had duty that morning. And we're like, hey, Knutson, are you going to Green's funeral, or will you take, or not his funeral, is going away, and or are you going to take this guy's duty so he can go see, because he worked with Sergeant Green.
Yeah.
Knutson was like, no, I'm going to the going away. We're like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm going to go. So we're like, all right, hey, man, sorry, your guys got to do this duty because Knutson's going to go to it, because I'm not going to tell Knutson he can't go to it, right? Because it did hit him pretty hard, and he was like friends with him.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I wake up and like I'm getting ready, and Knutson's like sleeping. Or no, sorry, I went down. Rango comes down. He's like, hey, dude, come back up. Knutson's sleeping. He doesn't want to get up for this thing, but I think he can like still make it. Rango's like, we need to get this guy to this going away. So maybe Knutson's just not using his head. He needs to be here for this. Mm-hmm. Not only that, because he's screwing another guy over who has duty. So I went up there and I'm like, Knutson, what? He's like, oh, I'm too tired. I'm not going to go. Basically, the sleep he had duty that day or something like that. So the sleep was more important to him than showing up for the guys going away.
The memorial.
Who he apparently liked so much that he let another guy do duty while he slept instead.
You know, man.
So I grabbed him and I just ripped. I couldn't even. You are not a fucking human. You don't have morals. You don't have morals. You're not a person. After that, it wasn't an art of like, now you're stupid and you're making me angry. Now, like, as a person, like, I don't really hate very many people, but I hate him.
I was disappointed by the fact that on my first deployment, we had the Osprey that went into the water and the crew chief died. And I was honestly disappointed by the fact that when they did the memorial for him, that not everybody was there.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's crazy.
Like, dudes were like chilling in the berthing, like playing Xbox, and they're like, "Nah, man, I'm not going." And I'm like,
as if you have
dude,
something better to do.
Like, I don't even know the kid, but I feel like this is like you should go, dude. The whole
weird.
thing was bullshit too. Okay, like the ceremony was awesome. You know, whatever it was somber. Obviously, it was like what you could expect, right? I was like, okay, it was they had a good ceremony. But on the catwalk, we're all on the flight deck, right? On the catwalk behind us, there were some Navy dudes just bullshitting the entire time through the entire ceremony. Through the roll call. You know how they do the roll call and all that stuff? These dudes are back here laughing. Like, you can hear them. Like, people in the formation could hear them. And then once the ceremony, like, they told everyone, dismissed, fucking fight started. The Marines and the fucking Navy dudes started fighting. because they were like, that was fucking bullshit, and this like fight started.
Shit.
Yeah.
Did they get in trouble?
I don't know. I was just like, I just walked away from it like, this was disgraceful. Like, I can't believe that happened. I couldn't believe those dudes were laughing about it. They weren't necessarily laughing about it, but they were being so loud that you could hear them like during the ceremony.
That's weird.
Throughout the formation, I couldn't believe there were people that didn't go, and even though, I don't know. Different people, Some people don't care, and I get it; they don't know them. But I still think it's like, dude,
you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
You're on deployment with them. You're both Marines. Like, yeah. I don't know.
Wow. Well, anyway, in a lighter mood.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's get tattoos.
What? I have 0.
People don't have any at all.
I have 0. I made it 12 years in the Marine Corps, 0 tattoos. So when I first came in, I had plans to get a sleeve done. So my buddy Michael Hanthorne, he's been on a couple times. He's got, I think both of his sleeves are done. I think he's getting ready to start a leg sleeve, or what do you call it? A pant leg?
A sock?
I don't know. He's got a shit ton of tattoos. He's got them like on his chest, on his stomach, like all this stuff. And I wanted to come. I loved his sleeve. He has like flames coming up, and there's some skulls in it and shit. I'm like, that's fucking sick. Like, he got it all. He got a lot of the work done when he got back from Fallujah and stuff. He started it when he first got in and everything. So I was like, dude, I want to get something kind of like that. And then I came in, and literally when I got to MCT, or when I got to MOS school, where you can do such things like that,
yeah,
that's when they passed the order about you can't get sleeve tattoos.
See, aren't you glad they did that?
But the thing is, though, is that they passed it, but no one actually knew what the fuck you could get or not. Like, I still could have. I 100% could. Now, looking back, Private Kramer didn't know. Look up what? Like,
yeah,
what order?
True.
Look up the order, Devil Dog. What the fuck are you even saying to me right now? Like, I have no idea, But they told us that we weren't allowed to go get tattoos. So I didn't think we were, and I was like, man, fuck that. Fuck this. Like, I wanted to get it, but... And then I just kind of outgrew it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's never been
fun, though.
It's always been prohibitive to be in the Marine Corps and
true
and have it. Like, there's no way.
Oh yeah, you're right. If I would have stayed in, I wouldn't have gotten anything probably.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, if I do something, you hear about guys that can't go to recruiting or DI. Like, I didn't want to do either one of those, but sometimes you have to.
Well, not only that, even like promotion pictures. I'm like, do they look at that? Do they look to see if you have tattoos?
I bet they do. I bet there's some first sergeant in the promotion board that's like, oh, this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I bet he's the kind of guy that puts his goddamn hands in his pockets. I can fucking smell it.
I can taste it.
Look. There's a scuff on his goddamn core frame. Passed. See you next year, punk.
Thank God they let me pick up. That was awesome.
Oh, man. Ian, it's not hard for 0861s.
No, not at all. A lot of the guys that I went to like comm school with didn't know that I lat moved. They're like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't know, man.
I want to have my buddy on, Matt Gay. He's supposed to come on. And I surpassed him. I was a Lance Corporal and he was a sergeant when I first met him. And I went to Staff Sergeant. He was still a sergeant. He was Motor T, man. Oh, my God. 0861s, you get promoted fast for a couple, because dudes get out. Dudes are like, fuck this. Dudes are like, I'm gone all the time. Like, some guys just can't get down with it. Some guys are like, this isn't cool. But if you get down with, like, deploying and going to the field, it's fun. But if you don't, or if you become a box bitch, I couldn't imagine. See, you never did a battalion time because you were a radio operator and lat moved to 0861.
I had two very. I mean, I was 31st MEU, which was weird, and then I went to Anglico, which is weird. So I never had like a normal. I was telling you the other day, I never even had a first sergeant. I never had like a normal unit, I guess.
Dude, at maintenance battalion, I didn't. That was like you have like a staff NCOIC, but like I didn't even know what you would call him. I mean, he was just a staff NCOIC. You never saw the platoon commander, like was a warrant officer, I think he was just a warrant officer.
What do you think he did all day?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're doing meetings and bullshit. It's logistics. But maintenance battalion sucked. But then getting over to 10th Marines and like, dude, I remember one time we got a battery gunny. This is 210. If you were a 210 between, I think he was there 2011 time frame. I don't remember his name, and if I did, I wouldn't say it. But I remember him coming in and just bitching about the barracks, about the condition of the barracks. And the barracks at 210 are horrendous. They are fucking bad.
Are they worse than Horno?
Worst ones I've ever seen.
Worse than Horno?
Worst ones I've ever seen. Dudes are using their poncho liners as like fucking blinds and shit. Like, I swear to God, bugs. You got the fucking cockroaches and shit.
No way.
Swear to God, dude. Swear to God. If you are in 10th Marines Barracks and you are experiencing something like this, please send me some photos so I can send them to Fairbear here.
Dude, no way.
100%. So, anyway, this dude comes out, though. He's like, after field day, or it was like Friday, he's the battery gun. He's like, Sergeant Major wasn't happy with the barracks, blah, blah, blah. He's like, listen up. If we don't get the barracks clean, we're coming in on Saturday. I hate my wife. I hate my kid. I don't fucking care. I'll come in and we'll sit here all fucking day. And
No
I'm like,
way.
oh my God.
That guy's life's got to suck.
I was like, well, at least he's honest. But yeah, but people like that make everybody else miserable. It's like, dude, don't put your misery on me. You know?
Yeah,
like,
that's
dick.
I think it's weird. They're always so when I got to CLB 31 on the 31st MU, they were talking about either the sergeant major wanted to or he made him sleep in tents. I think he wanted to. But that sergeant major had just left. But I'm thinking, like, man, imagine that, someone being able to control where you live. Like, that. Now that I've been out for like a year and a half, I'm like, or 2 years now, I'm like, imagine someone telling you right now, like, get out of here. You're coming in on Saturday.
Put your goddamn hat. Put your fucking hat on. What? I don't even like the Chargers. Dude, did you go to Gila Bend with us that time that the comm section was out there doing some other thing?
Didn't they have to sleep in tents?
They were all sleeping in tents.
Dude, that's hot in Gila Bend.
Dude, they within sight of the hotel we were staying in.
God.
You know,
they're on
the
the gravel bullshit, right?
They were across that over in the grass, tents all lined up. They made
Why?
them, I don't know. They were doing some kind of training. They made them stay in green on green the entire time. Dude, we come back from the OP and we're like, what are these guys doing? And it was like one of our last nights, so we went and got beer and like meat and shit. And we had a big cookout and we're just like drinking. And they wouldn't even let their dude. You know what? They might have let a couple of them come over, but I don't think they let everybody. But they were making them sleep in tents, and we were sleeping in the hotel right next to them.
Dude, it was so hot out there.
How pissed would you be if you're a S6 like headquarters guy and you're looking over and all the team dudes are sleeping in the fucking hotel room and you're in the little Marine Corps 2-man tent?
God, I'd be pissed.
Carrying rifles around.
No way.
Yes, dude.
Dude, even at night there, it's like 100 degrees.
They were all carrying rifles around. They were green on green. It was ridiculous.
God, that's terrible.
Shout out to Top Moran, though, because he's a good dude.
Man.
He's a good dude.
I'm sure that, I mean, even looking at it right now, I'm like, oh, training is training. But then I'm like, wait a second, let me put myself in that tent. And I'm like, fuck no.
They were doing some cool work, though. They had some, I think they had some recon radio operators over there with them as well. And they were going out and doing HF shots. They were driving further and further away from Pendleton and shooting back on
that's cool.
We used to
make
HF
super
shots
cool
and stuff.
antennas.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
that's the cool shit you get to do in a unit like Anglico or Recon or something like that. Fucking CLB, whatever, comm section.
Yeah.
They're not like, hey guys, let's get a van and go over here and we're going to sleep next to the Mexican border and shoot HF shots back.
Yeah, it's true. We're right on the border. Dude, they caught dudes a walk. So we were out driving to OP. I think you were with us.
I wasn't there that time.
Dude,
that was
they
my
were in
team,
bushes
though.
and they acted like we couldn't see them. There's like plain as day hiding behind bushes, but they just didn't move. Like as if they didn't move, we couldn't see them. I'm like pointing them. I'm like, I can see you,
bro.
Like,
I see you.
Yeah, I'm like, you can move, and the guy was like, oh. So we called it in, and then they came out, and
Como está? Come here.
They had water jugs on them, but man, I mean, the closest. I don't even know where they could have. Everywhere you looked was nothing. I mean, you can see where the border was, right? But it's over like the hills and shit. So they had to have.
Dude, these people
trekking.
are crossing through probably one of the worst. Well, that's the area that you always hear about dead bodies being found.
Yeah.
That when they talk about like the border crisis and they talk about like the humanitarians on the border, the people that are like, we should be doing stuff for them. That's the place they're talking about. That's where you can go out there and find stashes of water jugs and stuff like that they put out there. Yeah, dude, that's rugged terrain, shitty desert, and you're going through an active bombing range. Which, honestly, they shouldn't get blown up because you're supposed to be looking at the target. But if an aircraft is doing a gun run, they're not looking.
Yeah.
I don't think they're looking at that one spot. Maybe not, but it's super sketchy, man. Because we run A-10s out there constantly. Like, I know when we're out there, it's constantly A-10s. There's constantly F-16s. Started doing F-35s.
Yeah, that place
Everybody.
was hell. It was 120. It was either 123 or 128.
No,
one of the days we were there. I have a picture of it on my. I have a picture of it screenshotted on my Snapchat temperature, and then a picture of the screenshotted temperature in Gila Bend.
I don't know if I'd trust Snapchat temperature. Actually, it is pretty good.
Dude, it was. I have a picture of it
accurate.
because I have a picture of it. My kit's in the back of it, covered in sweat.
It's not 128. That'd be like a world record.
It was either 123 or 128. I got the fucking power of Google in my hands.
It may not be a world record, but it is hot out there. But it's totally worth it. The OPs that are out there are great for training. And they're super chill. They're like, hey, don't shoot the cactus, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, people bring their own. You can bring your personal out there.
As long as you meet the timelines, their designated timelines, so you don't fuck up aircraft flows. It's probably one of the best places to train, honestly, for JTACs. And you get introduced to A10s, which are great cast platforms, but they're assholes to work with. A lot of them are prima donnas, and part of it is also that Marines aren't used to working with Air Force assets. So, we're looking for readbacks from both aircraft, and they're only going to give it from one, and they don't even want final attack headings, man. They're fucking insane.
Just do whatever they want.
Yeah, they just want to be like, hey, where's the target? All right, we got it from here. I remember when we were in Afghanistan, my air officer had a some kind of drone below the A-10, and the A-10 guy was like, hey, put me below the drone, or request to go below the drone, and the air officer was like, negative, you're going to be here. You're staying at this altitude. He had them separated for whatever reason. And the A-10's like, roger, and left the air, was like, hey. And then he called and was talking in third person to my air officer, because he's let me listen to this. He was like, when Hog is on the stack, he's at the bottom of the stack, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm the air officer. It's my airspace, dude. I have you there for a reason. It was one of those things.
What a douchebag.
Like I said, A-10s are great cast platforms, but I saw them shoot twice in Afghanistan and miss both times.
Really?
Yep. So they're a great cast platform. That's not me judging them, but they're not the best. They're still driven by a human. You know what I'm saying? They're still fucking shit up.
I found the picture.
Did you?
It's 118 degrees, not 123 or 128.
118 is still hot.
But that's still fucking.
So you'd rather work in that than work in December and upper.
Because with that, not only that, you're sweating, so I like it. I like when I sweat like that much, because it's like, okay, I'm cycling the body through its sweat glands.
You have to constantly be putting
and then
down
you're constantly
water and electrolytes.
You're drinking water, so you're just flushing your system the whole fucking day.
Yeah.
And when cold gets, it's hard to be miserable when it's really hot. It's very easily
everything hurts in the cold.
It's very easy to be miserable. There's miserable and just when you're disgruntled and pissed when you're outside. When you're miserable, it's either water has been introduced to where now you're freezing, you're literally cold as fuck. Or some of your like dexterity and shit like that. If I'm so cold outside that I'm losing my fingers.
If you can't ever get out of that heat, though, man, you start to lose your fucking mind.
Yeah, but I feel like you get used to it because you can get out of it. You're at work.
So
you're only doing 8 hours. You're not in the Marine Corps doing it. I think that's when I started to realize I'm not in the Marine Corps anymore.
Yeah, okay.
I started thinking about things where I'm like, man, you can get out of the heat. You're only there for 8 hours a day. That's when you're in the truck or you're doing.
Yeah. I call my mom. She's like, it's so cold. It's so cold here. And I'm like, yeah, but you're inside. It's 68, 70.
Yeah.
What do
yeah.
Turn it up.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Get inside.
Yeah. What are you doing outside? It's cold out there.
Put on gloves, silly.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that Midwest cold, though, man.
It's just not it's not something to frick with. It's just so. There's days when I was at home and I'm like, dude, this is miserable. This isn't fun. So everything looks dead. Everybody thinks gray and
And it's flat.
Yeah.
That's the other shitty thing. It's flat. There's no hills to climb.
Now, I am very happy that I grew up in the Midwest. I had a great time, living in a small town growing up. I mean, that town was only 3,500 people growing up. So it was the cops would go talk to your parents or something. If something, you'd still get in trouble, but they would, either way, everyone knew everybody. You drive up to the gas station. It's like, oh, Jim's outside pumping his tire up. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's Aunt Sally?
I graduated with 100 people. I think 120 or 100
community.
Something.
You have real community.
Take your tractor to school day was a thing.
Yeah.
So, you got to get away with a lot of crazy shit. Driving across the river with a tractor with a trailer full of people, and then we party on the other side of the river on this guy's property. So when the cops came, they can't get across the river. So they would just sit on the other side of the river, basically God damn,
darn kids.
Yeah, because there's nothing they can do.
I'm going to call your mothers.
Stuff like that. Cops coming to our house.
They'll tell your mom at church on Sunday.
Exactly. They knock on the door. We know, hey, we just letting you know, we know that your son did this and this.
Small town cops.
My dad used to throw snowballs at cars with us. We'd hide in the evergreen trees.
Oh, really?
And whip snowballs at cars, but he would grab like the melted ice, the nasty slush and peg car. One time he put out a headlight on a car.
What?
So we're like right next door to a church. It's church, big evergreen trees, and then us. And this church is like crazy. They're psychos.
Damn, your dad's a dick.
He's funnier. My dad's literally me, but like a grown-up version. He just retired. He's coming out here next month. And puts out a headlight, and we just run. Because it was, he's like, let's go. It's me and my brother and my dad run in the house, run past my mom, and run downstairs. And she's like, what did you guys do? And like 15 seconds later, you hear like, doosh. And my dad's like, shh. And I'm like, oh, shit. And
oh, my God.
You hear the door open. I know that guy. I saw them come in here. And, Tracy, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's trying to like shut the door, but this guy's like yelling. And then she's like, Mike, I swear. And she like stomps downstairs and we take off.
Rightfully so, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Mad, rightfully so.
The fact that Tracy is still...
That your dad is throwing snowballs.
Mike was fun,
at
man.
Cars.
Mike was super... Mike
still
is super fun.
So I was
yeah.
like, man, you're talking about him. Like,
Mike's a fucking... He just retired, so like... He just got a really big bonus check, like $50,000, I think, or something from a small investment fund that he had like set up like a long time ago, but he just let it ride out until he retires. And he got $100,000 from it, but he like put $50,000 back into it, got $50,000, paid off like the boat, the rest of the car. So he's all paid off on everything now except for the house. But the house is like $500 a month because they bought it in the 80s when it was like $80,000.
Yeah.
And he's just chilling now. He's every day because he's a hard ass worker. He's in construction. He's a carpenter.
Does he have hobbies?
Yeah, I mean, so my sister has kids, 3 kids, so those 3 kids are like, he's always over there messing with them or whatever. He's a super big carpenter. So, like, I don't know if you saw a thing on Facebook not long ago where it was like a nice white chair that held wine. It had like a wine glass holder in it, wine bottle, and it held like on like the arms of it.
No.
So my sister commented something on Facebook like, oh, this would be cool. And then he just went out and built it for her.
Oh, really?
Like, and it's like the exact same thing as online. Like,
that's cool.
He's a carpenter. Like, he can... The detail he has is insane. He could detail a whole house where you're like, dude, how do you have that steady of like a cut?
Everybody has to have a hobby, man.
So that's
something
like his
you're good
hobby.
at that you like to do.
He loves snowmobiling. They have a cabin up north with their friends. They go up snowmobiling.
What's your hobby?
I'm probably riding motorcycles.
Was.
Fuck, man.
What now? Have you ever thought about just getting a new bike?
Yeah. So like today when he told me that, I'm like, maybe it is time to hang it up.
What
Only
would you
because
do with that?
that's
Take it to the junkyard?
That's the thing. Only if it's fixed and running. I mean, I could probably sell it still only for like maybe $6,000, $7,000.
What could you sell just a frame for? The body?
Man, probably maybe $2,000 for motor, everything. Tell them what's wrong with it because it still runs, but you can tell like when
you can build it to a drag bike.
You could just if you're a machinist or you're a mechanic or something, you could fix it for half the price. You're looking at $1,000, maybe, and if it's fixed, but. I don't know, dude. I thought about getting a new one, but I mean, the one I want is 20-something thousand. Even the Harley, because I was like, maybe I'll just get a Harley. But then the one Harley that I want's like 16,000.
Oh, really?
They're just so fucking expensive.
What kind of Harley?
I want a Harley like a Street Glide. Like I don't like the old leather baggy looking like leather shit hang. I think it's stupid. I like the modern like square bags, not the dumb fuck off hood on it. Just a nice single light with like the touchscreen navigation on it. Very like sleek black.
Why not like a Goldwing?
My dad has a Goldwing, a real nice one. It has like
Goldwing dudes are like a little like
he hates it because the dudes will drive by him with like the helmets, like the little fuzzy mic in front of them, and they'll beep beep and like wave, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Go away, nerd.
My dad's
he's not a waver.
No, he hates it.
He doesn't wave.
He's too cool for school. But that Goldwing he has is fast too.
Does he have the foamy little microphone?
He doesn't wear a helmet. He doesn't do any of that. He's total opposite. He just likes comfort.
Yeah, it's totally different there. You don't have to wear a helmet in Illinois? Indiana either.
Those Goldwings are 1900 cc's. I mean, they're heavier than shit.
Yeah.
But they're like torquey as fuck. It has reverse on it.
Don't they have like heat AC on it and shit?
I think he has heated grips, but I don't think he has AC on his. His is like 2007 or 5. His is 2005. Yeah, they have automatic ones now. So they're not shifting. It's just automatic.
It's just like riding a big-ass moped.
Yep, and the new one's got really nice navigation systems. He has like a 6-disc CD changer in his trunk, all leather, surround sound.
6-disc CD changer?
Like 2000 I think it's a 2005 or something, or 6. So it's old.
Remember having the binder of CDs?
Fuck, yeah. I remember having them in my visor.
Whoever's in that passenger seat cannot fuck up fucking
I remember making
DJ.
mixtapes and, putting it in a little burner. We had a little extra burner we'd put it in.
Yeah.
And you'd write on it like what it was.
Yep.
You always had that empty stack of CDs, the empty CDs, sitting next to the computer.
Yep. God, I have CDs laying around. I'm like, what are these?
Yeah.
I don't even have anything that can read them. Well, no, I don't even know if you can put it in an Xbox. But
no.
Yeah. I mean, MacBooks don't come with fucking
That's so
CD
stupid.
drives.
That pisses me off.
They don't come with anything, really.
Man.
Man.
Now I just want to go fast again.
Well,
do you miss your car?
Yeah. Only when I see other cars, and I'm like, I can totally fucking beat that.
See, and then when I'm not on my bike, I see every human riding a motorcycle.
Every time I see my neighbor's car, I'm like, WRX, get out of here.
And don't you feel like you still have a right to be like, fuck that guy?
Fuck him.
Even though you don't have it anymore, you're like, fuck him.
Yeah, if he ever asks, I'll let him know what I had. I'll be like, yeah, I can totally stomp that. Now, so, funny story is I initially, when I went to go buy a car, I was like, fuck this. I need a new car. I had a 65 F100. I was driving around for a while. And great truck. It was fun. Gas hog. Had a 390, 650 Edelbrock carburetor on it.
Oh, yeah.
Straight pipes. I'd be out there in the cold North Carolina morning, like, like revving it to try to keep it going because the carburetor's cold. And you hear like, boom, like a fucking backfire. 5 a.m. out there getting ready for PT. But what was I going? Oh, yeah. So I was like, dude, I need a new fucking car. What was that?
My bad.
God damn. Unprofessional as fuck.
I'm sorry.
And he did it again. I was going to get a new car, and I went to get a WRX. And I was like, look, I want a WRX STI, like special edition, all black. And the dealership's like, we don't even keep them here. This is in Jacksonville. He's like, we don't even keep them here because people just want to come in and test drive them and not actually buy them.
Oh, shit. Really?
And he's like, but what you want, what you're looking at, this dealership in Pennsylvania has it. And I'm like, cool. I was like, how much? What's the price? And before I went to go buy it, I went to Navy Fed and I got a pre-approved loan check. So I already had, the money. I didn't have to finance it.
Oh, nice.
And so I went. So the dude's like $39,000. It was like $40,000. It was like $40,000, and I'm like, nah, man. I was like, I was thinking like 32. I'm a barterer. I loved it in the Middle East, fucking bartering with those dudes and shit. So I'm like, no, man. Like, you need to go talk to the manager or somebody, and come back and let me know. And he goes and talks to the manager and comes back and was like, hey, man. He's like, the manager isn't going to come off the price at all. He's actually adding another $500 to transport it from Pennsylvania, where the dealership was, to North Carolina. And I was like, dude, go fuck yourself. I was like, whatever, man. I got up and left. And I went home, and I'm like, God damn it, man. Got online, and I'm like, there's no Evos. I looked in town. I was like, there's no Evos in town. Like, fuck. And then I was looking to see if anybody had a used like Ford Lightning for sale, like the older ones, because those things are sick. I love them. I think they're badass looking.
They're cool until you like cholo them out and put like the dumb body kit on it, and like.
No,
but some body kits are cool, but some are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I wouldn't do all that. I think they're sick ass trucks though. So I was like, maybe someone will have one of these. None. Like, I'm looking online, like nothing in town. I'm like, God damn it. So I told my ex, I was like, hey, let's just go for a cruise. I was like, we'll go find something. If I don't find anything, I got this check already. Like, we can go anywhere and pick up a car. I was like, I'll just go get a Jeep or something. And
were you set on that day getting a car?
Yeah, man, I was just fucking tired of.
Isn't that cool when you're like, you know what, I'm getting a new car.
I got
today.
the money.
Yep.
I got the fucking intent. Like, I've been looking around at shit.
Car dealerships are probably biting their teeth. Like, God damn it.
I wanted the WRX, but that dude they didn't want to come off the price at all. And I went down to the first dealership on Western Boulevard, is a Mitsubishi dealership. Pulled in, walked in. They had the Evo 10 sitting there, brand new, 2011 at the time. It was brand new. Had it on the showroom floor. They just got it. Had 5 miles on it. Never even been test drove yet. And I didn't even test drive it. I was like, yeah, man. I was like walking around and like, yep. I got in, like, oop, Recaro seats feel nice. Like, yep, this is, I was like, hey, man, same thing. I was like, how much? And dude told me, and I'm like, nah, man, 32, and he's like, ooh. Some dude asked for 500 off the other day, and the manager told him to go fuck himself. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying, man. This is how much. And the guy comes back, he's like, dude, the manager said he'd do it. Because I told him, I was like, I have a pre-approved loan check. He's like, you have it, it's already financed? I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right. And he comes back and he's like, manager said, let's do it. Sign the paperwork. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he's like, yeah, we'll fill the tank up. He's like, since it's never been driven, he's like, since you just bought it, we'll go fill. He's like, I'll ride with you down to the gas station, fill it up. So I'll hop in. I haven't driven a stick in a little while. I didn't kill it or anything, but it's a little, sports cars are a little touchy on the clutch. You know, you can barely even push in and shift. Like it was simple like that. But I'm used to like a truck, you know, where you have to like put it all the way down. So anyway, we drive down to the gas station, and this chick was like, "Oh, excuse me." It's like, "Oh, it's a really nice car. My battery just died. Can you jump start me? Like, I have jumper cables." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, fine. You know, fuck it, let's do it." And pull around and pop the hood, and I'm like, "Where's the fucking battery?" Like me and the dealer were both staring at the hood, like, "Where the fuck is the battery?" I had to look in the thing, and they put it in the trunk.
And say that my Beamers are in the trunk.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's weird because why?
It's the counterweight. It's the counterweight.
But if you like got hit, isn't that like direct access to my batteries?
But it's
a cage around.
It's a solid cell battery though. It's not like old batteries that are liquid.
No. My regular like truck battery is. Well, no, it's not.
I guess it depends on
4-wheeler battery was.
It depends on the kind of battery you have.
I could open up my 4-wheeler's battery and I could put water in it and pour it and close it back up to.
Yeah. See, like that can. We used to have a battery room when I was a mechanic, and you go in there and mix the stuff for the Humvee batteries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you had to mix like. Like fucking chemical work.
What the fuck?
Yeah, with like baking soda or baking. I don't know what it is. Anyway,
so when I bought my Beamer, like I had just gotten laid off. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna be laid off for a little bit because it was like work was stupid slow. And I was going to the gym, and on the way back, I'm like, why don't I just go swing, like just see what they have?
Yeah.
And the only car there with it was, I was like, I want to spend maybe 22 grand.
Dude,
grand.
that car is super nice for the price you paid,
isn't it? So I ended up paying 16 grand for it. I think 16.5. Then out the door it was like, no, maybe it was 17.5. I think out the door was like 20 grand.
If you would have been like, I paid 25 for this, I'd been like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, dude, it only has 40. Well, now it's got 60,000 miles on it.
Tell people what it is.
It's a 2014 BMW 328D. So it's like the regular sedan you see BMW, like the nicer, sleek black sedan.
Yeah,
it's got leather interior. It's got Bluetooth, and the surround sound is upgraded nice. Harman Kardon, like pitch perfect sound. It's so nice, and they have like subwoofers underneath the front seats, which aren't like crazy good, but they're good. And it gets 45 miles of the gallon highway, 35 city, I think. So I average like 36, 38.
And that's not even a hybrid.
Yeah, so if I it's just because of diesel. And
do you think you're saving money though? Because diesel costs, how much does it cost out here?
Diesel's like $4 a gallon usually, but sometimes I pay like $3.60 down in PB, or usually I average about $3.80 a gallon. And we use the reward points with the gas station.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll put my phone number in, and it's 70 cents off a gallon.
Up in Oceanside, gas is $3.15 right now.
So like usually diesel's like anywhere from 20 to 40 cents more a gallon. Which I would say if I'm putting in 15 gallons, it's like $5. I'm paying more. But I'm also going probably double the distance.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was driving the Evo. The Evo got like 17 miles to the gallon for a little 4-banger. It didn't get very good gas.
My motorcycle gets 23 built.
Yeah.
Like a regular motorcycle gets like 50. So like this is the first car I've ever really owned, first vehicle I've owned that gets good gas mileage. I've never driven anything with gas mileage, and it's such good gas mileage. When I get to the gas station, I look to see which side my gas tank's on.
Can you convert your motorcycle to ED5?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Is that the same as like doing with cars?
I'm guessing so.
Well, you know what? It probably only helps if it's boosted, right?
I have no idea.
I think so. Nah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, E85, but it burns quick. And there's really nowhere to fill up out here.
So I think it's a 17-gallon tank or a 15-gallon tank, but I usually get like 580 or 600 miles or something out of it.
Really?
Yeah, that thing goes forever.
Fuck.
I fill up once every. When I was driving it to work and all, I was filled up once every like 2 weeks.
I was gonna say for me, I'd fill up like once every 2 months.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Really,
but like now that I drive my little S10 to work, so I only drive that on the weekends. So I got a car cover for it. So once I get the panel put back on, I'm gonna have it ceramic coated. It's like $250 to have like a guy come out and like. It's basically like the best detail you could do to it, and then ceramic coat it.
Let me know when you're going to do it. I know a bunch of guys, actually.
Cool. Because I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to have a car cover out during the week. Because you can see it's a 2014, so it's old. 6 years old. It's not crazy old. But some of the weather stripping is kind of getting a little bit dull. by the windshield. It's kind of
She's
cracking a little bit.
A little aged.
Yeah, so I'm like, I got to get it out of this sun because it's probably sat in the sun its whole life.
Yeah.
It's probably never had an indoor garage, and that's why. But the interior is like immaculate. I love it.
Even when I had a garage, I never used it for a car.
So I had the motorcycle stand, so I could pull into my garage with my motorcycle, park it,
Yeah.
and it would stand it straight up. Lacey's went behind it, and then my car pulled in right there. It was perfect. But now that I'm garageless like a fucking peasant.
City living, dude. San Diego.
So I thought about it. If I was to move somewhere else, I have to live in the city, I think, or close to, like the way I am now, like very close to it or in it. I don't think I can ever go
Like
back
where?
to small town living.
Oh, so like if I was gonna live in like, see, where you're from, 3,500 people is
Well, now
super
it's like
small.
5,000, 6,000,
Whoa.
7,000.
Whoa.
Still, to me, that's big. I'm like,
See,
oh shit.
I'm from small town Lafayette, Indiana. It has like 75,000 people. You know?
That's not that. So that's like La Mesa's got no fuck.
No, La Mesa's got to have way more than that. But
Yeah, I think it's
if
like
I
100,000.
if I was to move back home, I'd probably move into the downtown area. You know, downtown where all the little shops and the fucking like restaurants and diners and shit are, bars.
This says La Mesa
You know.
60,000.
Really?
But I have to have stuff to do.
But Lafayette is also over probably a lot larger area than La Mesa.
La Mesa 57,000.
You're talking about farmland. You're talking about communities. Like
I have to have things
those.
I can go out and like. I can't imagine just on a weekend just sitting back in Genoa, Illinois. Like the big thing with me is like meeting new people or like just experiencing culture and stuff like that. Out here, it's perfect because you're surrounded by it. Back at home, my friends in high school that live there are still only friends with their friends in high school. You know, like they branch out a little bit, but
Yeah.
you got
People from work and stuff. But most people from work are from school.
Think about how small of a circle that is.
Yeah.
Of like normal people. Their friends are. So it's a lot of times when I get on Facebook and I look at my Facebook friends, I'm like, it's more than half my friends are from the military on Facebook. I would say that I've met from being in the military. Some of them are from people that I'm out that I've met now, and then some of the people are from back at home. My friends from back at home and people back at home. But I would say the majority of it is people that I've met since I've left my house.
When's the last time you scrolled through your friend list, see who's on it?
Dude, years. I'm talking more of like my feed, I should say. My friends list, man, it's been...
On Facebook?
Oh, boy. It's been years. I've never opened... I don't even know how many friends I have on Facebook. By some absurd amount.
Nah. Mine's less than 1,000.
You're right. Because I just... No, never mind. I don't add everybody. I have a bunch of friends... Hang on. Let me see this.
Dude, I mean, because I bet you flipped through there.
1,376 friends. I don't know that many
Really?
people. I do not know that many people.
That's
but
a
think
lot.
about how many countries you've gone to. I've made so many friends in like every country. I've made friends.
Do you add people that are just random people you meet at the bar in like, you know, Dubai?
Probably. I remember telling a wedding planner I was going to use them in Dubai, and they were messaging me for a while, and I'm like, why did I tell them that? I was already married. Because I think they had a band that was with them, and I'm like, I want you to play at my wedding.
Like, look, dudes, I love you, but I'm not coming back.
Probably.
Dude, the bands over there are the best. They're all Filipinos. It's all like these Filipino like bands, but they all sound amazing. You know?
Yes, and that's what it was. It was like a cover band, but they were like better than the regular band. I'm like, what the hell is this?
They're real good.
They're all really good for some weird reason.
Even I went to this fucking bar in a basement of a hotel in Malaysia, and like we were at this hotel. They're like, "Hey, don't leave the hotel and walk around. Like it's kind of dangerous here. Like this is not a good spot for you." Like we would go around. We had security with us and shit.
Where was that at?
In Malaysia. Me and Archer and I were down there for. Archer and I was I don't know whatever. We were down there for a fucking conference getting stuff ready for the Mew. Yeah. And the band, man, was amazing. And
Aren't
we're in a
they
basement.
always really
There's like
good?
7 of us.
Yeah.
There's like 7 of us in this basement watching these people play, and they were fucking great.
A lot of times I can't tell. I'm like, is that really that person's voice coming out of that body? I'm
Yeah.
like, that's good.
Real good. It's weird, man.
I got dysentery in Malaysia. Well, I got food poisoning. I got dysentery in
From Monkey Brains.
where the hell were we at? We had that. That was also Malaysia. Wait, was that Malaysia?
Yeah.
Dude, I got sick twice.
Wait, the part you were at was not where I was at.
Either way, it was Malaysia. So the first time I went to Malaysia, we ate at this McDonald's in the mall. I'll never forget it. Because when you go to another country, you're like, that's the safest. It's a safe bet. You know what it's going to
I used
taste
to eat
like.
there in Hong Kong.
Yeah, you're like, that's what it's going to be. You eat it everywhere else. It's the same everywhere else in the world. But, dude, on the wall, there was a big sign in this mall that said, no washing dishes in sink. And there was a picture of like a person dunking a dish into a sink, but like an outline of one. So, and it had an X through it.
Okay.
And I'm like, No. So, oh my God. No washing dishes in toilet.
Oh, what?
So, but it was like a big sign. I think I have a picture of it on my Facebook.
A lot of pictures on your phone.
I have a picture of it on my Facebook. I bet if I scroll back in my Japan Facebook, because it was on the Mew, or my photos, it'll be in there. But it's a picture of a toilet, and it's a picture of a sink or a dish going in it, and an X through it.
Is that a real problem?
I'm like, that's got to be someone had to have gotten caught doing that to where they're like, yo, we got to put a sign up. Mm-hmm. And I'm eating my food, and I'm like, man, dude, I got so sick that night that I was on the boat, and I thought my stomach was gonna like come out of. I was hurling
really?
so hard, and I was so cold. I was like shaking.
Poisoning that bad?
I was shaking, and I remember I was walking and I was sober, and I was walking trying to get to medical, and I was like, no shit, like wheezing in and out. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna die.
Holy shit!
So I went to medical, and they gave me like a shot or something, and I basically slept for like a day and a half straight, and I just slept it off. Fuck. But it was like affecting like my motor skills. I was like, I've only had food poisoning that once. Besides,
I don't think I've ever had food poisoning.
But that was the first time I've ever gotten like sick from eating something, and my body was like, "Fuck this." I shit like 15 times, probably threw up probably 15 times. So it's like
the Double Dragon.
Yeah, but this was the Double Dragon plus like a cold chill plus like a flu feeling. Dude, it was gnarly.
You got a dab of malaria.
Just a dab. Yeah, I probably dabbed some malaria in there.
You know, Kuala Lumpur is pretty nice. It's not like where we were at. We were out on one of the other islands because Malaysia's like 3 islands, I think. But Kuala Lumpur, like the capital, was that where you were at? Where they have the big skyscraper downtown. And all that shit.
Man, where were we? I don't know where we were. There was just so many malls where we were. It was like a downtown, like dirty downtown. You know, like Hong Kong when you got off the boats and they would drop everybody. It's kind of like that, but just like and it had the whole town had a smell to it. Like one of my buddies watched a guy get out of a car at an intersection, took a shit, wiped his ass with his hand, and got back in his car and drove away.
Oh, really?
Like everything just smelled like a sewagey kind of.
You weren't in Kuala Lumpur, I don't think.
Yeah,
maybe you were.
It was fucking nasty. The whole city had just a stench to it, like a sewage kind of like, I'm guessing that like the Tijuana kind of smell.
The area we were at is known for its palms. Like they grow these massive groves of palms. It's like being back in the Midwest and having big fields of corn. They have these big palm groves, and they use it for the palm oil. That's how they get the palm oil for cooking and shit.
Shit.
And they cook everything in it, and it tastes like shit.
Does it?
Oh my god, it's fucking
Malaysia?
It makes it gives a flavor. The palm oil gives a flavor to everything that it's just like, ooh, dude. Unless you like that flavor, I mean everything. You go to also found out KFC's real huge there. Major company there.
Wow.
And even their food is cooked in palm oil, and it's like, ew. Real letdown.
Dude, you know who has really good food? Basically everywhere I've been to in the Philippines.
I've never been to the Philippines.
Like the lumpia. Have you had lumpia before? You know what that is?
I've had that, yeah.
Dude, we were in Crow Valley, and you climb up this little hill to this little shack that had a karaoke machine, this little shack with like Pepsi but they would sell homemade lumpia just on like little plastic plates or whatever. Not plastic.
Some First Sergeant's wives out there making it.
It's just this old loop, like, you know, old Filipino lady and her Filipino crew, and you can watch them. They're making it from scratch, and it's like $1 for like 8 of them or something stupid. You get a fuck ton of them dude. It is delicious. It's like an egg roll. For who don't know, it's like an egg roll but longer, and like what's in it?
There's like meat and stuff in
I think
it.
there's like pork in it, but I think you can get ones that have nothing in it. It's just no.
All you got to do is get on Facebook Marketplace around a base, and somebody's making them for sale.
Oh yeah,
you can buy them for sure.
Every time I see that, I'm like, man, I should order some.
I should get some from her.
She probably makes it. That and tamales. That I always see those on Facebook too. People are selling tamales. But I'm like, do I really want someone? They're so dry.
Nah, not if you make them right. You're not. Yeah, are you talking about? You're talking about shipped tamales. Is that the only tamales you've ever had? Because that's not a real tamale.
No, I've had. I don't know. Some of my Mexican friends, they make carne asada and shit, like on you know those big skillets, those giant. They'll throw like the tortillas on there, get them hot.
Yeah.
They'll do carne asada with all this crazy beef, and I could probably, like, we were at Nick's house last week, and I had like 5 tacos straight.
Oh my god, that was so good.
And that cake.
Happy birthday to Nick.
I would buy one of those cakes from her just to have it, like a no apparent
it's
reason
like a triple chocolate cake or some shit.
How often do you buy cakes out of season? Do you ever just buy a cake to buy one?
I don't buy cakes. I can't even tell you the last time I bought a cake.
Fuck, I bought one for Lacey's, but they're expensive. Lacey got me this super cool one. It was like wrapped in like cereal and shit. We only ate like 2 pieces out of it.
I don't even like cakes on my birthday. You know what I like is ice cream cake. Like,
I like ice cream.
Ice cream cake, it's fucking good.
Ice cream's super good. I love ice cream.
Yeah,
every time I'm here, I get ice cream. Not every time, but a lot of times when I'm here, I'll just Uber eat some pint ice cream.
The fact that you're Uber eating ice cream, that's where we're at in 2020, where you can just like...
I literally don't even give my... I got to get the couch to get it, but...
I was looking at Uber Eats yesterday, actually. There's an ice cream shop nearby that fucking is local to the area.
You better get on it.
That is crazy. Nah, I don't eat a lot of that.
Well, get some for me next time I'm here. Every time I come here, I'm hungry. What if
Bring your own goddamn
If I
food.
Uber Eats a pint, will you put it in the freezer for me and not eat it?
Yeah. You have it on. Have it come before you show up.
Yeah.
Someone knocks on the door like, I brought your Rocky Road.
Is this your half baked, sir?
Yeah, Farrell's on his way.
Oh shit!
Fuck, man.
Well, it's super cool.
Yeah. Well, I think we're at a natural stopping point. What do you think?
Yeah. I gotta get home. I gotta be up early.
Well, the cool thing is this is my second episode of the week. I'm like I said before, I'm gonna keep trying to do 2 episodes a week. So this one is coming out tomorrow morning. So this will be good. That way people start hearing, I got tired of like recording episodes with a bunch of people and then like waiting to release them, so that I could keep the one a week kind of thing. Because I felt like some of them, like I'm releasing shit from Christmas in the middle of January, and we're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I wanted to stay more current. So I'm going to try to, I've really kicked around just releasing them as I record them instead of, but I do like that. I think people let me know. Hit me up on J Kramer Graphics on my Instagram.
Hit me up and say hi to me.
If you like getting the episodes every Thursday or with an occasional second one, or if you would just prefer me just to release them as they are recorded. So let me know. You never tell anybody your Instagram.
Oh, I was just kidding. I don't even know what Instagram is. I'm on it quite often though, but it's Fairbear89, I think. Let me check. There's Fairbear _89.
Fairbear _89. He's also the peen guy.
And the stories
outed.
Man. What the heck?
Outed.
Flashing your peen to homeless guys, are you?
Fucking damn it.
Every time you post a sticker, I'm like, well, gotta put it in there.
Frogger fucking outed you.
Did he?
He made that meme.
Oh, yeah. Archer messaged me one time. He's like, this is you, isn't it? I'm like, yeah. JT always calls me out. He's like, Bear's at it again.
Archer ordered some stickers. I drew dicks on the back of them when I sent them to
him. Good.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
But yeah, if you want to put your Instagram out there, you can.
Yeah, it's out. Shout out to Frogger and them. I don't know if I can do that here. Can I shout them out real quick?
Shout them out.
He's got his fueledbyhatingcaffeine.com. Check it out. He's actually... He makes some fucking funny memes because they always throw us all. I gotta check
beforehand. His memes out. I haven't seen the webpage.
Dude,
yet.
They're good. He's he's a genuinely fun. He's witty, so he's like he's smart and he's.
I need to have him come back on the show because when he was on the last time, you couldn't really hear him because you and him were sharing the microphone. So
it'd be cool because he just picked up a job working in the city of La Mesa for IT Works, make good money doing that.
He's still working on bass too.
He's got like 2 days left and he's out. So he starts his next job. He already got it.
Oh, was it a contract? His contract's up in 2 days?
He got a new job, so he put in a 2-week notice.
Oh, gotcha.
But I think him, Ski, and Rango kind of. I don't know what the atmosphere is. I don't know who runs it. I'm not sure. I know Frogger does, but I think that they jump on it often.
The podcast?
Yeah. But he's got funny stuff, man. Check it out.
I will. And check out my website, jkramergraphics.com. And again, check out the Instagram, jkramergraphics. Hey, make sure to I started uploading all the episodes on YouTube now too. So
you did?
Yeah, it's just the audio, but within by episode 50, I want to be doing video. So
that'd be awesome.
By episode 50, I'd like to get my camera set up in here for me, and then have a second.
We got our camera you can use too.
Yeah, we'll have to have 2 cameras set up in here for when I have guests here, and then I guess the other audio or video will just have to be, our screens on FaceTime or whatever.
Yeah, Lacey and I are thinking about making a YouTube channel, so if you guys are interested, let us know.
What's Lacey's Instagram? You want to shout her out?
Oh, dude, I'm too lazy to look right now. I don't know what. I think it's Lacey Farrell.
Look her up. She's out there.
Oh, yeah, she's out there, but I think we might make a YouTube, because we're always doing funny stuff, so we might kick something around, maybe make a YouTube channel, see what it's all about. So that's why we got that camera. Lacey.Farrell.
Lacey.Farrell. Yeah. Next time you're on, then fucking make sure you let us know how that's going. Let us know if it's going or not.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know at the comedy show.
All right. Oh, yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Later.